Alright, so here we are, back again, more or less a week later. Probably the same for the video as well, definitely for the stream. So, as I said, I'm gonna try to do these weekly, and yeah, they're separated by classes because it would be like impossible for me to do rarities in one sitting. Even these, like, I definitely underestimated how long the Saber list took. So this is more or less probably gonna be the same amount. So give or take. Also, again, before anything, in case people start already skipping, which I guess a lot of people did, and that's fine, but again, remember that this is just my stupid opinion. Don't take it too seriously. If anything, it's just, you know, it's mainly for just, I want to talk about the servants and whatnot, but obviously I still rank everyone. But yeah, thanks to all the nice comments in the previous video as well, honestly. A lot of understanding people. In the past, a long time ago, people used to be very, you know, kind of hostile in the comments with videos like this, but you guys are behaving, and that makes me happy. And also, big shout out to all the crazy people that actually watched the entire video. There was a lot of people saying they literally watched the entire 4-hour video for the Saber tier list alone, so you guys are the MVPs, so that's very cool. Now, again, I'll do the disclaimers briefly again. They're basically the same as the Sabers, but yeah, just because, again, someone might not watch all of these videos. So, again, brief disclaimers here for the criteria and whatnot. So, again, I'm not an expert. I've just played the game for a long time. And especially in case of some JP-only servants for now, I don't have the best experience because I don't even have all of them in my JP account. So, I hope you can give me, you know, a small break there. As you can see, every servant in the game for archers are in this list as of, you know, 11th of February 2022, including JPs. So, also with having said that, every buff will be taken into account, also up to date with that stuff. Now, this is important. This is the main placement criteria again. I will take many things into account, but the thing that weighs the most is what I think, or how, like, what the servants do the best and how well they do it. And in comparison to their peers as well. So, you know, if someone is a farmer, I'm probably going to place them based on how good they farm. If someone is against bosses, you know, boss killer, support, etc. So again, that's the main criteria here. For the non-Wilfer golds, MP1 is more or less assumed across the board. And, you know, higher MP levels where it's easy and realistic to assume so. Obviously, this is a gameplay tier list, so, you know, no favoritism. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can, because, you know, obviously among archers there are some servants that I'm pretty fond of. So yeah, in terms of the order, same as Saber, we're gonna do, it's like a mix of two. So first of all, rarity in order first, so we go from 1 to 5 star in that order. And among the rarities, the order is release date. So again, the older servants first, and then the newer ones. Also, fun fact, you can see that Sei is actually the latest SSR archer. So even on NA, we actually have the latest SSR archer. Pretty funny. There hasn't been a single one in 2 years for SSR archers. Waiting room intensifies. And, you know, some rankings may shift as well. So if you're skipping around, don't, you know, you might want to check the last placements just in case. Because, you know, I might shift some ratings when I get more comparison and whatnot going. So someone I place in, let's say, an A at first might not be final. So, you know, it's also something to think about. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, which I assume a lot of people are, I will hopefully have had or added timestamps in form of the chapters for your viewing pleasure. So there you go. I go at the extra mile to even do that, I suppose. Takes a while, you'd be surprised. So there you go. Feel free to skip around if you want. I don't judge, because I don't assume a lot of people will be watching a 3 to 4 hour, maybe even more longer video. So that's fair. But again, shout out to all of those you guys that actually do watch all of this. And again, this will be completely more or less unedited. Unless something crazy happens during this stream, like I have the biggest toilet break ever, I'll probably cut that in the editing. But besides that, this is just going to be very uncut. And, you know, I'm going to be blabbering until my voice dies. So, there you go. Cool. I think we're on the same page. Also, Quitting, thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back to the Go Gang, dude. I see your resub. So, man, I guess we can start now, huh? Yeah, we're starting with an interesting one. This time the order is actually completely working. So, Mr. Arash, day 1 servant, but definitely a very notable one. Kind of a legendary character, huh? Yeah. So, 1-star archer, AoE buster, attack obviously low as a 1-star. You don't need me to tell you that, so, you know, don't expect miracles. It's actually higher than the average for a 1-star, but even then, you know, it doesn't really matter too much, does it? Deck is fine, I suppose, but honestly, I'm not really gonna rate him based on against bosses anyway. So the deck in most cases is kind of irrelevant in his case. So, you know, he's a pretty special case here, I suppose. Yeah, his numbers otherwise, you know, very day 1 stuff, if anything. So here, not much to be said, right? We're still gonna obviously take a look at all the skills and whatnot, even though, again, in his primary use case, a lot of these are not really very relevant, but still. So his first skill is actually a unique skill, and it's honestly not bad if you end up using it. So it's a 5-turn cooldown, self-defense up 3 turns on 20%, good uptime, decent number, and a very it's a lore thing definitely, like poison resistance for 3 turns for self. Yeah, won't be really relevant in most stuff, I suppose, but yeah, still a decent defensive skill, so that's something to think about, I guess. Clairvoyance A is honestly, well, we're gonna see another very horribly placed clairvoyance skill later in this very list, but Arash definitely takes the cake of having the worst placed clairvoyance in the entire game. Also, one of the only ones remaining that hasn't been buffed yet. So it's a terrible skill. What could I say? And especially for him. So super weak, garbage. Now this is an actually useful skill in both, like in every case, however you want to use him, but definitely in the main case, which is farming. So he has a 30% battery for self, very nice. So yeah, that makes your CE choices a bit more flexible, I suppose. And you know, again, if you do want to use him against bosses, I don't really see a big reason why. Maybe in some setups, you do have a heal as well, I suppose. But again, it's a slightly awkward because you tend to want to use this turn 1, so a lot of the times the heal would just be wasted, but you know, not really relevant in most cases. Magic C doesn't really matter too much. Independent action C, same here, but it's nice to have bonus crit damage. Also, we'll be seeing a lot of this in this list, obviously, because it's basically the archer passive, so yeah. Rider enemy bonus damage, not much to say there. Then the MP. Now this is where everything, this is the difference maker, right? If his MP was anything different than what it is, or like a basic MP, he would be bottom of the bottom tier. But luckily for everyone's favorite Persian hero, he actually has a very unique and awesome MP. So yeah, not only has he been buffed, so you know, it deals good damage even on base, but as we all know, it's Arash, so he deals out an absolute nuke, because you know, he gets just bonus damage. It's literally just additional damage. There is no niche needed. It's always gonna happen basically. So even with 1-star stats, he's gonna do massive damage. So he can even wipe a normal wave, like of neutral targets. In some cases, even weak affinity, like Lancers, if you have high enough numbers or their HPs are low enough. So again, something to consider. So he's a very flexible pick for farming. And yeah, then honestly, them calling him demerits, I would disagree. But yeah, he does sacrifice himself, so you can save him with guts, I suppose. That's basically the only way to prevent this. But yeah, in most cases, at least in the primary farm case, this is a merit, not a demerit, because it means you get a free replacement. And in a lot of cases, this is the common use case for Arash, right? He nukes wave 1. He's out. Now you only have to worry about the next 2 waves, and you still have all the servants you could have kind of picked. You might have to use sometimes some skills to get him going as well, depending on what CE you choose. But a lot of times he can just go with his own stuff. So that's pretty amazing, right? When you think about it. So again, a very extremely special case here. And still to this day, a very, very useful servant. Now, again, someone said the Bonsi might be worth mentioning. I kind of agree. Yeah, honestly, not bad. This is useful in some setups, maybe, possibly. And even if you can fit him into like a speed run of a challenge quest, it could be useful there as well. So again, when he eventually perishes from his MP, most likely, or whatever, you know, he could be killed by the enemy as well. A full party cleanse, obviously only for the 2 allies you have left, because, you know, this happens before the 3rd one comes in. And a pretty meaty 5k heal for them as well. So, you know, sometimes I could maybe see some use for the Bond CE. But again, in farming cases, you won't be using that. But, you know, it's a cool CE, Bond CE as well, I suppose. Thanks for the 14 months, Bento. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Now, again, this is an interesting one. Because, again, he's... like, if he had any other MP, like, the MP makes all the difference here. It really does. It really does. He would be absolutely here. Right? Someone's gonna screenshot that, I know, and make it out of context, but I have a hard time figuring this out, honestly. I forgot where I placed him last year in the 1 to 3 star list, but probably an A+, honestly, at least. Just because of how flexible he is, right? Some people are saying EX, actually quite a few people are saying EX. This is a harder one to place. But I have a feeling I'll leave him in A+, maybe, because of his terrible stats. But besides that, he basically does the job in most cases where you need him to do the job, so... yeah. Maybe adjusted later, I don't know. But I'm pretty happy with an A+ placement for Arash. He's just that flexible and useful. And honestly... a lot of the times, him being a 1-star is a good thing, because he barely costs anything to add to your party, which, again, that's good. That's really nice, actually. So, yeah. Yeah, he does need, like, a proper starting gauge CE, so there is that still holding back, unless you want to sacrifice some of your support skills, but besides that, really top. Now, this is an again, we have a lot of like the 1-star archers, the 2 that there are, also the they're both very interesting. So next up is Nobukatsu, also the last low-star servant that NA is still missing, because they don't seem to be adding any more after this. This is the latest one we've had for all like 1 to 3 star servants. Come on, Lasagna. We need more low stars. Come on, it's been so long. But yes, NA will get Nobukatsu later this year. And then I guess both servers have all the low stars. So, it's a very interesting case, right? Here, honestly, very much more so than Arash. The numbers hurt Nobukatsu quite a bit more. In a lot of cases. Obviously not. In some cases, it doesn't matter. Again, because, you know, we'll get to the MP later. But I have, in my opinion, the stats still, it would be better if they were higher than a 1-star, obviously. But, because not always you want him to perish immediately. Not always. So, he's a support archer is what he is. And I believe his MP is of Buster type as well, despite not being a damaging one. One of the only ones in the game to have a Buster MP that's not a damaging MP. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm pretty sure it's Buster. So yeah, deck, double Buster, double quick. Honestly, it's fine, I guess. Maybe double arts would have been better to get to the MP easier. But, you know, I guess you could run starting gauge if you really want to go fast. Yeah, Steno style, exactly. His gains are not terrible, but they're not really amazing either. I would say definitely better than Arash's, though. You know, doesn't take too much, I guess. So, okay numbers, I suppose. Besides, you know, the 1-star stats not being good at all. So, the skills. Okay, at least the skills have some stuff to them, right? So, skill number 1. Confusion AoE, right? Or actually not AoE. Like the other ones. This is a single triggered one, sadly. So yeah, every turn for 3 turns, you have a 30% flat chance, doesn't scale with the level, to skill seal the enemy. So you could not even get the skill seal necessarily. You could like get 30% 3 times and not get it. I guess it's possible. So it's not the greatest chance there has ever been. I wish it was a scaling effect. It wouldn't really hurt if they added it as a scaling effect as well to the levels, but whatever. But this is the better part. Even though it's single target, it's still a 3-turn, 30% Buster us down on an enemy. So again, pretty solid against bosses. It's a pretty hefty cooldown. I wish it was 5, because even Confusion, like, it's not as good as like a MP seal, but still not terrible for a 1-star servant. So, you know, a 3-turn 30% buster us down is not bad. It's okay. Now, the second skill. This is actually a great skill. So he gets stars every turn for 3 turns, up to 15. That's definitely on the high end, and that's really crazy for a 1-star, okay? So that's already a great start. And then all of your party benefits pretty small, but you know, 20% crit damage up for 3 turns as well. Now, here is where you start to see what he really is the best at. So he's basically a Nobu support. So if you're running him with Nobunaga servants, which there are 3 besides him, they get a whopping up to 80% crit damage for 3 turns. So a combined to 100% for Nobu allies. And then also 3000% absorb for 3 turns. And this is all on a 5-turn cooldown. Like, this is an EX tier skill if ran with Nobus. Otherwise, still a very good skill because of the stars. Because the uptime is good. Like, this is a great skill no matter what. But it has the potential of being, like, broken good. So this is one of his highlights for sure. Then the third skill, which, you know, kind of synergizes with the MP. Possibly a little bit, I suppose. Self-taunt, 1 turn. Also gets the nice combo of MP gain when taking damage for 1 turn. So, you know, especially if the enemy has multi-hit attacks, you're gonna see his MP gauge jump quite a bit on that turn of the taunt, I suppose. And then if he happens to die, it's very flexible on 5 turns actually, which is funny. They have to specify it's unstackable because the cooldown is actually less than the uptime is here, which is very rare, honestly. But yeah, if he happens to die during this, party gets healed for 3k. Not a big like on death effect, honestly. But because they couldn't really make it crazy because his MP kind of wants him to perish anyway. So, you know, they couldn't really make it too crazy. And keep in mind, he's still a 1-star. So it's okay, I guess. It's okay. A bit of added value if you want to use his MP, I suppose. Or he happens to die. Magic Resist D is okay, because this actually will come into place because he will not be run on farm. So obviously wish it was higher, but oh well. This won't really make a difference because he's definitely not a DPS by any means. He doesn't... Does he even... Yeah, he doesn't even benefit from this because he actually sadly doesn't have Nobunaga trait because, you know, it's his sister, I guess, not him. So yeah, this will not make a difference. Caster, well, honestly, this could make a difference, but again, because it's his damage, not really. So the MP, another very, very interesting case, huh? So much like Arash, these 1-star archers, using it will also kill himself, but also can be prevented with guts if you so choose to do. So what does it do? Obviously on free MP5, your party gets, well, minus him, 20% MP gauge. So not too bad, I guess. It's kind of a normal skill for some better supports in the game, but still, you know. And then, again, the other normal effect only works for Nobu allies, so they get 20% buster up for 3 turns. Not the most, but still. And then everyone else, including the Nobu allies, also get the 10% base OC buster up for 3 turns. I wish this was a bit higher, even if you can combo with this. But yeah, I feel overall the MP is pretty weak. Honestly, and if you're gonna use him as a Nobu support, it just, to me, it feels like it's way better to keep him alive as long as possible, because this skill is truly, in my opinion at least, is where it's at. Like, especially for Archer Nobu and Mao Nobu. Mao Nobu in particular, who extremely suffers from the horrible Avenger star absorb. So this will help a ton. It's a 4-digit one with a good uptime. So yeah, the MP isn't really that good. It's like a last resort. If you think he might die and you maybe even have this up as well, you can probably hit the button. But honestly, again, it feels counterintuitive because you want to kind of keep him alive, if anything, you know? So I've always kind of found it kind of weird the way the MP was designed for him in particular. But you know. Yeah, I would definitely prefer a non-sacrifice one. So honestly, this is another very hard one to place. I don't remember where I placed him last year. But yeah, here's the thing. If I rated him fully as a Nobu support, he would rank pretty high, honestly. Pretty high. But here's the thing. when it comes to niches, if the niche is not very common, but at least in this case it's easier to do because you pick your units. This doesn't matter for the enemy, so it's a bit easier to fulfill. But I can't really, in good heart, fully rank him as a Nobu support, right? Because it's such a small pool to get the best potential out of him. So, but even honestly, because of the second skill still being a very good star generator, and he still provides some stuff for non-Nobu as well, as a 1-star, he's still fine. Like, he's not bad by any means. Just a bit awkward with the MP as well, but I feel like he could be like a B tier, honestly. Like, honestly. Even if I don't fully rank him as a Nobu support here. Like, he can have some uses, despite being awkward at places. Still, better than, honestly, a lot of 3-stars in the game, I would say. He does have some competition as like a crit support, like, you know, Hans, for instance, so it's kind of hard to argue. Like, if Hans didn't exist, he might rank even like a B+, but I feel like because everyone obviously has an option for Hans as well, you know, if you're not going to run Nobus, you would probably pick Hans over Nobukatsu like any day of the week. Unless you really want the most out of your red cards, then you might pick Nobukatsu over Hans, but yeah, it's hard to make an argument without picking him as a Nobu support. Right, let's continue. This is gonna take a while. Right, the last bronze archer actually, Paris. So, single target quick DPS. Let me take a look at the numbers here on average. Yeah, the attack is actually quite a bit higher than your average 2-star. It's actually nearing the realm of you know, a 3-star attack, so not too bad, I guess. We have a quick double arch deck, so in combination with the MP, if you have good RNG on a team, you can do a full quick chain for better damage, I suppose, as well. Not too bad. And the star gen on Paris is also not too bad either, honestly. I think it's good enough to the point that it's worth mentioning as well, as any good quick unit should have at least a decent star gen, even like lower stars. Gains are sadly pretty bad from what I remember using Paris, so definitely bring supports that help with that, because the MP gain is it's not really good. It's don't get fooled by the nice numbers on the cards, because his MP gain number itself is pretty low. So yeah, bring help in regards to that to get the most out of your Paris. Now, skills. Interesting first skill. So it's a self-evasion for 1 attack, 1 turn. Definitely very weak, because it's not even like 1 attack, 3 turns. It's just a weaker version of a 1 turn evade is what it is, right? So that's not a great start. Now, the other effect is not bad though. 1 enemy crit chance down for 30%, up to 30% for 1 turn. So I would wish it was more than 1 turn, but at least the number is decent, which can help against bosses. Now, if anything, this is the best part about it. Easily, in my opinion. It's a full-on buff strip on 1 target. Doesn't matter if it's offensive, defensive. As long as they can be removed, they will be removed. So I think buff removal is always nice to have. Obviously preferred on AoE, but even on single target, still a very good effect to have against bosses. Now, as an added caveat, if you remove buffs, you inflict a special debuff called Vital Spot Identified for 3 turns for them. That will be relevant with the MP later. So yeah, it's just an added benefit, I suppose. But you know, it's just nice to have. The reason I assume these are not as good with the numbers is because of the low cooldown, and you know, it's also having a buff strip. So all in all, it's still actually not bad. And keep in mind, it's a 2-star with buff removal. I agree. It's pretty damn good. There's not a whole lot that have those. Phantom has one, I believe. And was there anyone else like on 2-star that even has one? I guess the Benkei MP now has as well, right? Yes, okay. So those might be the only options you have. But yeah, it's pretty nice to have on command, on skill. Still an okay skill, I would say, but kind of all over the place. Now, the second skill is like a slightly worse version of the skill that Artemis has. Not as good, but still, what do we got here? 1 turn, 40% attack up. Decent. On a 5-turn cooldown, decent. If anything, the second thing is much better, because the 3-turn effect on the defense up to 20%, so that is also, it's the same as Arash, but at least here it makes way more sense, and it's even better here. and also debuff resistance, flat 50%, not scaling 3 turns. Again, not bad, not bad. It's like a mana burst that also carries over to protect you a little. So honestly, yeah, I would kind of agree that, yeah, I would probably call this like a better mana burst. Yes, definitely. Even on like the worse version than Artemis, still a decent skill for sure. The third skill, another unique one, right? So, self-battery, sadly only up to 20% and a heal. So, what this is just a worse version of the Arash skill. That's exactly what it is, right? More or less. Or wait, was Arash just 6-turn cooldown? Well, in any case, yeah. Still a pretty underwhelming skill, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, I guess this one has the added benefit of the cooldown. But yeah, it's definitely not a great skill by any means. It's just filler, if anything. These two are the highlights. But as a 2-star, the kid is still fine. Definitely better than most 2-stars in the game. Magic Resist B is actually nice. Independent Action EX, very nice. Because, you know, he is still a DPS. Gotta remember that. So, that's a nice amount of crit as a bonus. That doesn't really matter. And then the MP. Okay, so, you know, it still hits pretty decent hard because it's a, you know, free MP5, quick MP, single target. And as an added bonus, it has another normal effect. Ignores invul 1 turn. Always nice to have, right? It's always such a nice thing to have. And now we get back to the debuff. So if you remove buffs from enemy and you applied this for 3 turns, you get a nice meaty, like an actual good damage modifier here. This is equal to like the good ones, like Carmilla's anti-female, same with Jack, right? Same as Rama's anti-demonic. Like, it's really big. It's the same numbers as far as I know, at least on base. So yeah, if you manage to land this debuff by removing a buff from the enemy, this will make a big difference to the damage of your MP. So try to land this, if anything. So you actually want the enemy to use skills to hopefully get some buffs. Because more often than not, the only buffs you can remove from bosses, at least nowadays, are the ones they get from their skills. A lot of the buffs they have are just unremovable, that are just based on gimmicks of the fight. But, you know, you kind of want them. So, you know, try not to bring skill seal if you're going to run Paris, I suppose. It might actually be a demerit instead of a merit for your team. So there you go. Actually a very potentially good MP. But, okay. Having said that, Paris is still good with, like, I love all the stuff, basically, especially for a 2-star, but here's the problem. I was talking about this as yesterday as well. Here's the problem with Paris. You see all these other low-star archers, and there's a lot of single-target ones among them. That's a lot of competition, huh? That's the biggest problem Paris faces in regards to the ranking. The competition. Most of the competition is very accessible to anyone. So it's still kind of hard to justify bringing Paris over, let's say, Robin, let's say David, let's say William Tell Billy. Yeah, all of those great archers as well. So, oh yeah, let me bump down the music apparently. Ignore this if you're watching the video because you don't even hear the music. So yeah, sadly for Paris, a lot of competition. But still, I would probably place Paris in like B still, honestly. Because it's still a good kit for a 2-star. Like, you can absolutely still run Paris. Completely fine. But, you know, because of I can't really put higher than B because of, you know, the comparisons. Still fine, though. Alright, that's it for the bronze. Now we get to the 3-stars. Back to day 1 servants. Okay, we got Mr. Robin Hood. Very nice. So, single target, arts, DPS. Attack, it's slightly lower than average for a 3-star, sadly. But, you know, I don't think he really needs to worry too much about damage on average. So, the attack number might be a bit deceptive, if anything. Double arts, double quick deck, I think is actually fine. Obviously, triple arts would be preferable here, but that's not going to happen. His gains are fine. Especially if you have his golden rule up, but they're definitely not amazing. But they're fine. Not bad. Crit star generation, not really that good though. But he has other ways to help that as well. So, first skill. Now, this skill itself doesn't look amazing, but it's kind of important for this kit. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about here. So, AoE attack down for 3 turns. Is a good effect, because considering he will go against bosses, so stuff like debuffs like this will actually come into play. Sadly, it's only 15%, but at least the uptime is good with a 5-turn cooldown, so not too bad. And then a poison for measly 500 damage will never make a difference, but the fact it's the reason it's here is because of the dot itself, not the damage. Also, it's really good that it's 5 turns, so unless it gets resisted, you can have 100% uptime on rank 10, which is really good, because we'll see the MP later. So all in all, actually for his sake, it's a pretty decent skill. Yeah, very decent. Golden Rule, but it's the lowest rank. It's E. Still 30% on max rank though. It's, again, in today's day and age, they really need to start buffing more Golden Rules. They've started with some, there's still a lot of these, so his especially, just, yeah, it's weak, but, you know, I guess it helps dish out a little bit more MPs. But definitely a weak skill, especially a ranky. Uptime is half. Not that good. Then his unique third skill, his defensive skill as well. 1 turn evasion on a 6-turn cooldown. So it's, you know, it's the standard, same as like Mind's Eye, False, and True. Also ignores evasion for 1 turn as a bonus, and comes with a 20 up to 20 star bomb. So not too bad. Sometimes slightly awkward, because, you know, you tend to want to save the evasion for a critical turn where you need to live, so you might not get the best value out of those stars, or even the ignore evasion. So I still like this more than like Mind's Eye, True, and False. Maybe not True in some cases, but definitely more than False. So still a decent skill, also not bad. So honestly, his kit kind of basic, but, you know, I guess it does the job in some cases. Magic Resist D is sadly pretty low. Independent Action A is nice to have as a DPS. Assassin bonus makes no difference. And then the MP. Now, it's like the most basic MP ever. It has never even been buffed. Doesn't even have any other normal effect. But the OC is literally what makes it. So against any enemy that's under poison, you deal, again, it's even better than Paris on base. It's a 200% extra damage. It will literally make a world of difference. You use this MP without a poison, it's a sponge. You use it with this, it's a sack of bricks, is what it is. It makes all the difference. It truly makes an enormous difference. So yeah, that's why the first skill having a potential 100% uptime minus resistances is very vital for his performance, right? So despite the MP being as basic as it is, because of the damage bonus being so easy to activate, it's still a very good MP, I would say. It's a rare case when an MP as basic as that can still be considered good. Robin, the good old reliable, ever since day one, even before his third skill was added, because I think he was one of those that needed to do his strengthening to get it. But yes, even then, at least he always had the damage. I'm thinking of an A, honestly. I'm not sure. I don't think I can put him in A+, honestly. But he will always be just a solid single target DPS. And if they ever buff him, let's say Golden Rule, giving something other cool stuff, this might get bumped. But yeah, just consistent. He's basic but consistent. That's Robin. Watch out for those high resistance bosses though. Some of them do have quite a bit of resistance, so. And yeah, debuff immune as well can be, like, obviously you won't bring him if there's debuff immune, but luckily those are not super common. So yeah, he's still very solid. Is an A very high? Well, you gotta keep in mind, again, this is among his own rarity basically, so this is not really gonna be a comparison to like 4 or 5 stars later, so keep that in mind. I think I forgot to mention that in the criteria. Whoops. Well, hopefully everyone remembers that from the Saber thing as well. Now, another day 1 servant, pretty sure. Yes. Euryale, another single target arch DPS. Also, yeah, that I should have mentioned that, Will. Briefly back to Robin. You can make him even more consistent if, in case his first skill whips, you can give him poison CCs. So, again, even you can, you know, counteract some stuff as well. But yeah, Euryale, decent attack, more or less average for a 3-star, but not bad. Higher than Robin's, I suppose. Double arts, double quick, can do a full arts chain, which is very juicy, especially with her 3rd skill active. Gains are actually not bad. They're definitely better than Robin's are, I'll tell you that much. In fact, of all the archers, she's currently number 1 for gains, I would say. So not bad. Forget about the stars though, that's not gonna happen, but you know, that's fine in her kit. So pretty good stuff for a 3-star here. First skill. Man, I hate these old vampirisms because they don't even scale up to 100% for reducing gauge. This should be 100% on max rank. I hate it. I hate the fact that it's 80. And it's a stupid 27% battery. What is that number? I hate day 1 game design, dude. It's atrocious. And a 6-turn cooldown. It's not even a guaranteed drain and you're gonna slap a 6-turn cooldown on it. Yikes. It should be like, sure, fuck the battery, but the drain should be guaranteed. It's a big deal. A drain is a big deal on bosses, okay? It's ridiculous that it can miss. Because remember, drain is not even affected by debuff resistances, so you're literally on the mercy of the 20%, no matter what. Unless the enemy is somehow immune to not being drained, then yeah, but besides that, the number dictates your fate, okay? They need to fix this. But still, an okay skill if you land this consistently, but you won't, because there will be times when you miss it and it's gonna suck, but no pun intended, by the way. Yeah. Second skill, weak sauce, single target, 1-turn charm. At least this one scales up to 100%, but only for males. 7-turn cooldown. Oof. Like, the MP kind of does this already, but at least here's the thing. Male is still not the rarest thing, obviously. It's a very common thing as a trait, right? So, but even then, this skill, despite Euryale being, you know, best at anti-male, which, you know, I honestly might fully rate her as an anti-male here. I think that might be fair. But even this skill just kind of sucks. But, you know, it could be worse, I suppose. It could not be 100% scaling. Now, at least here we have a decent skill. Okay, thank God her kit is not complete. Just stupid nonsense. 3-turn self-arts buff, 5-turn cooldown, great uptime, 30%, great number. Only effect, but you know what? Still a very decent skill. Okay, at least we have some good stuff here. Good. And this helps with the gains as well, which is very nice. Ooh, okay, we got something. They need to add like a deep down or arts resist down with your charm like Maeve does. Yeah, something like that could be nice, absolutely. Arts resist down could be huge. Magic Rosé, very nice. Independent Action A+, very nice. God Resistance EX, yes. 30, like this is what I was talking about. Like, look at this. Innate 50% debuff resistance permanent. That can be actually that can make a difference, absolutely. I don't even care about the 300 damage, which is basically max divinity. That's, again, not a big deal. 50% innate debuff res. That's juicy. Those are some... This might be like the best passives for a 3-star in the game. Unless, maybe I'm forgetting something. But these are definitely in contention. So there, at least she does well. Berserker bonus, very good. Very good. Usable. So, slight bonus points there. MP has been buffed. That's great. Now, her MP works in a really weird way. Like... her MP levels don't actually affect the MP base scaling. It's always going to be at 1200, no matter what your MP level is. So here's what the basic damage is. And instead, the MP scaling is what scales the extra damage against male opponents. So if you're not fighting males, MP1 Euryale does the same damage as MP5 Euryale. It's kind of, again, day 1 shenanigans. It's weird. It shouldn't be like this, but fair enough. It is. So, but yeah, if you're fighting males, that's a lot of bullet. Like, we're even going higher. It's ridiculous, right? Like, 150% Paris, good. 200% Robin, great. 250% against males. Ridiculous. Is that like the highest damage modifier, at least of the easily attainable? Because this one doesn't even scale off of OC. You're always going to get this because you're MP5. It's ridiculous. It's just, again, makes... the difference is day and night. Now, OC, honestly, not bad. It's 100% chance on base to charm and one male enemy to target for one turn. Actually not bad at all. That's very good. So if you're fighting against males, this is like an A+ EX tier MP in the game. It is pretty damn broken, okay? So yeah, Euryale is a very interesting case, honestly. Let's see. So, honestly, I could probably fully rate her based on anti-male here, because it's not that rare. I can't really do the same for, like, Nobukatsu, but males, it's a common trait, you know? Because most bosses in the game actually have a gender, some don't, and, you know, a lot of them happen to be male as well, I suppose. But I think I kind of want to put her in the same tier as Robin, honestly. That's what my mind is telling me. Even as an anti-male, I don't know. I kind of want to place her in the same tier as Robin. This is like the art sabers all over again when you think about it. Yeah. I could maybe understand if someone wants to put her in like A+, but I think I'll, at least for now, right there next to Robin, I think is where I'm gonna put her in. Oh boy, more good stuff. Dude, archers have a lot of good stuff in them. David, okay. Single target buster DPS / support. Okay, keep that in mind. Attack, very high actually for a 3-star. That is definitely on the top end of 3-star attacks. Very high. Triple arts deck on a buster MP. Honestly, sure, he misses out on the chance of having a full buster brave chain, but I don't really mind, I suppose. I think it's still fine. And his gains with the triple arts deck and the numbers, also not bad. Definitely not bad. He's not like one of those other buster MP servants with triple arts deck that have atrocious gains, which we'll, you know, we'll actually see one today. Fun fact. He's actually still pretty fine. Not too bad. Hey Frodo, thanks for the 25 months, my dude. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Yeah, good stuff. So, skills. Self-defense up 50%. Sadly, only one turn. 5-turn cooldown. And a 2k heal, I guess. If you time this well and you have other supports as well, like Mashu, for instance, you can actually kind of tank an MP. You can get your defense so high that you can actually tank an MP with him. Can't say the same for the rest of your teammates, though, because obviously this is only for him. But it's an option. So don't discount this as like an actual... This could be like a really good defensive option. But it's not even his only defensive option, as most people know. But yeah, keep that in mind. If you actually have a decent team, you can maybe even tank an MP. Second skill. I guess basically his bread and butter. You know, what he's mostly known for. Minus the MP niche nowadays, I guess. But yeah, Harp of Healing. First of all, removes party mental debuffs. I've always found this awkward when skills remove mental debuffs, because among mental debuffs they also include skill seal, and obviously you can't use the skill if you're skill sealed, so the fact that it's here is kind of silly. But you know, mental debuff, I always, to me, I don't know about you guys, but I have a feel, to me, if a servant has a skill that removes mental skill debuffs, it should ignore skill seal. Like, skill seal the rest of his skills. Like, Regent also has the same problem as an assassin, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, just that skill alone should ignore skill seal, in my opinion. It's not a big deal, it's just a kind of silly thing. Because obviously this removes a lot of other stuff too. Sleep, these special, like... I guess this is the... No, this one in particular is Kirike's MP, isn't it? I think. The Pigify thing. But yeah, remove all the nastiness. If he's not among the nastiness. Party evasion, 1 attack. Very notably, no turn restriction. So, this will be up on your party until they get hit or it gets removed. So, pretty flexible. And a pretty small heal, all on a 6-turn cooldown. Definitely, I have a feeling a lot of people might be saying Harp of Healing is amazing. It's not amazing, not by any stretch. But the fact that it's a party, like even if it's 1 attack, like it's mostly used to just counter an AoE MP, basically. That obviously doesn't ignore evasion or invul. So that's where the best case is at. So for that reason, it's still Very strong, obviously. And you, again, you're probably just always going to save it for an MP turn anyway, so... Yeah. Still, because of this, it's a top skill. Despite only being one attack. But, if you're feeling brave, you could pop this early. Because, again, it doesn't expire, so it's up to you. Also, if you're running Taunters, maybe you can also do it. Just some ideas. You know, a bit more flexible, I suppose. Then a Charisma B. Again, I guess it goes into a bit more with his supporting playstyle. If you're running like a second DPS among him, which you might, honestly. He's not really like a main DPS sort of guy. You could still kind of do it, because his numbers are fine for a DPS 2 for a 3-star. But yeah, you know what I think about Charismas in this day and age. I will be saying this so many times. It's weak. It's kind of outdated. It's not tactics, okay? It's not clairvoyance, so it always could be worse. But, you know, not too much to say about it. At least the uptime is good, but yeah. It's a basic Charisma. B for basic. Get it? Magic Grise is great. Independent Action A is also fine, because you can do DPS with him too. Berserker bonus, also like Euryale, very nice to have. Even nicer on David, honestly, because sometimes you can bring him against like non-sabers or non-berserkers or whatever, because you could like kind of bring him as a support entirely in some cases. Might not be the best option, but an option nonetheless. MP used to be not bad, but now it's definitely better. So, ignore evasion, 1 turn before damage. Cool. And for whatever reason, it took them like, how many years to add this? 5 years? So yeah, he finally has a giant damage modifier. Flat 200%. That's big. That's really big, yeah. Number 1 Spriggan eliminator right here, needless to say. Yes, Tim. Giant and Super Giant are 2 different traits. So yeah, sadly they're 2 different. So it makes it a bit more niche. But yeah, they are different. And with the buff, the damage is also pretty good, even if you're not fighting Giants. And again, Skill Seal, at least it's 100% base for 1 turn. But Skill Seal is not that great of a debuff on enemy. I always say this, but in my opinion, Skill Seal is truly worse against the player, not so much against the enemy, because their face cards can be quite devastating as well. So, and in some cases, when the face cards truly are devastating, it could be a demerit as well. Like, you don't necessarily want to Skill Seal sometimes, but in a lot of cases, I feel like it's still a merit, so not bad. Still a good MP, I would say. Definitely good. David, ladies and gentlemen, he's good. He is good. At least here as well. At least here as well. Probably here, maybe. It's one of these 2. Some good low-star archers, man. They're good. Indeed, Will. I think, again, I think I might just leave him in A again. Even with the MP buff, I feel like I'm gonna leave him here. He's a bit more flexible, maybe, than Robin and Euryale, though, with the supporting capabilities as well. Oh, man. This is a tough one. Maybe because of the flexibility, I want to place him here. Like, you could still kind of use him as a DPS as well. And that's going to work fine. For now. For now. I'll leave him there. Oh yeah, you know what? It's not really worth mentioning besides the memes, but yeah, look at his Bonsi. It's the best thing in the game. Like, who cares about the MP damage? Your normal attacks have a 60%, a 10% chance to insta-kill an enemy. It's stupid. It's the best. Watch my video on that if you haven't. I think the video is called like the best meme of FGO. I love this Bonsi. It's the best. Definitely a meme though, but the best meme there is. Right, moving on. Kid Gil. Was he day 1 as well? Maybe he was. Yeah, it probably was. Okay, so the first Gilgamesh in tier list this year, I suppose. AoE Buster Archer. We're finally going back to AoE. So many single targets right now in a row. High attack, much like David for a 3-star. Definitely very good. Double arts, double buster deck, mimicking his 5-star archer counterpart, I suppose. Even does a pretty decent job at it. His numbers are not as good, but they're still definitely good for a 3-star. No, that's what I meant, Will. I said we've had so many single targets in a row. I said we're going back to AoE now. Maybe I'm talking so fast you didn't hear me, but yes, he's definitely AoE buster, and that's definitely what I said. But okay, cool. Yeah, his numbers are good, I would say. I actually like the deck like this as well. Double buster, double arts. It's good. Makes for good damage with a mix of good gains as well. That won't help there, Ari. Charisma A+, so, you know, it's a better version than what David has, I guess. Good old Gil with their Charisma A's, I suppose. It's a staple. Not much to say. It's the best charisma there is for the normal ones, I suppose. It does something. Not too bad. At least it's the highest rank. Now, his charm used to be not great because it didn't even scale up to 100% like Euryale. After the buff it does, and also a nice 10 up to 10 stars per turn for 3 turns every turn. Kind of ruined by the cooldown of the charm, so the uptime is not good for the stars, but hey, 100% scaling, this is even better than, this is actually just, this is just like 3 times better than Euryale still has, because humanoid is basically 99% of servants in the game. Like, not male is still pretty common as a trait, humanoid much more common, so this is 99% of the servants in the game. Same cooldown as Euryale, same scaling with the buff, but also stars as well. This is actually not bad. For a charm skill, it's actually one of the better ones in the game. Especially among the single target ones. Might even be top 3 for single target charms on a skill. Every rarity included. So, not bad. And Golden Rule A also, you know, kind of laughs at Robin, I suppose. I guess he wanted to laugh at David and Robin a little bit. 50%, not too bad, honestly. Much better than 30%. Still not great, but, you know, with his numbers, it actually kind of, you know, makes a difference. So, you know, I still want to see all the Golden Rules buffed, but, you know, at least it's a high rank. Magic Resist is sadly low. Independent Action A is nice to have, and Divinity B, you know, more tickling. Rider bonus. Also, I should note that I don't think I'll be rating Kid Gil as a farmer here. You could do some farming, but I think he's way better against some bosses. Obviously, preferably against multiple enemies, because, you know, hard to justify bringing him against one enemy over some of these other single-target archers, even with his, in my opinion, slightly more consistent kit. I mean, obviously, you can still, even with 100% scaling, you can miss, because that doesn't take in like any debuff resistance, charm resistances, etc. into account, so doesn't mean it's always going to land. But on base it will, so there you go. He also has, like David, I was gonna get to that, Clay, he has some support capabilities. You can even see some in his MP, which is actually, the MP has always been very interesting, in my opinion. So there's no other normal effects besides, you know, your basic upgraded buster, the AoE damage, but the OC is very interesting. The 20% debuff rest for 1 turn, it doesn't really make any difference. The crit chance down 50%, now that can make a difference. And most notably, a lot of people don't even know this, it's a base minus 50% MP damage on AoE for 1 turn. That's a lot. You can actually, again, much like David with his defense up, you could use this, if you time this well with some other debuffs or buffs maybe on yourself, you could use this to tank an MP. But it's a bit more awkward here than, let's say, a skill, because this is also a damaging MP. So if you're going to have to hold on to this instead of, you know, going more damage, it's a bit more awkward than a skill in my opinion, but it's an interesting utility to have, you know? Yeah, like you combo Kid Gil and Mashu. Mashu first skill MP, Kid Gil MP, especially with the OC. You with just those two, you can tank an MP. Unless they have like crazy buffs to counter your stuff, but yeah. Pretty easy to accomplish that, I suppose. He's a very, I feel like he might be slightly underrated, if anything. I'm not saying he's amazing or anything, because there's a lot of options, and, you know, he might not even be the best among the options, but I feel like he's still, like, among the 3 stars, he's still actually pretty decent. Like, a lot of these, like, low star archers are actually good. You're thinking C+, that's way too harsh, man. Maybe a B though, but C+ I think is too low for Kid Gil. I think that would be too low. You don't think he's Paris level? Why not? They bring different things, honestly. I think it's fine. His numbers are also a lot better. He has the better end of 3-star numbers as well. And again, you shouldn't really compare them directly anyway, because of what I just said. So there you go. I'll leave him there for now. Still very solid. More low stars. Now, not a day 1 servant for once, I'm pretty sure. He was released... Wait, was he day 1? Actually, I don't remember. Billy, that is. I don't think he was day 1. I could be wrong. Maybe he was. It's been so long, even on NA. Yeah, single target quick archer. So there's something he's unique in. He's quick. Thanks for the 7 months, Donald. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Yeah, I thought he was released with the 5th singularity, right? That is America, isn't it? Maybe it's not the 5th. Is it 4th? 5th? I'm so bad with numbers. But yeah, the America singularity. Attack, sadly, quite a bit lower compared to like David and Euryale. Quite considerably lower, actually. Like 1,000 or so. With these numbers, I mean, that does make a bit of a difference. I'm not gonna lie. Sadly, a bit low. Double quick, double arts deck. I don't know. Maybe I'd prefer double buster, double quick. But, you know, I guess he has better gains now, maybe. Because his MP is pretty good. Yeah. His gains are still not good. Don't let it fool you. Like, unlike, let's say, Euryale, who has pretty decent gains. Kid Gil with decent gains. His gains are not good. They're not good. They're actually pretty bad. You will need a lot of, like, overkill arts crits to do anything with his own cards. So, again, you would definitely bring supports with Billy to help out with that. Without that stuff, yeah, he's gonna be a bit of a sad sight to look at. But again, you can definitely, you know, make up for that stuff, so it's not like it's the worst thing ever. Now, his star gen, I guess it should be mentioned because he is a quick unit. It's pretty disappointing, isn't it? Because of the hit count of his cards. MP is a 3-hitter, right? And his only 2 quick cards are 2-hitters. So for a quick servant, it's pretty disappointing. So it's not like his star gen is even mentionable, even though it should be on a quick unit, but yeah. So upstairs, not the best, honestly. Kind of disappointing, if anything. Now his skills, they're pretty interesting though. Like this one in particular as well. It's a 1 turn up to 120% crit damage up for himself. It's not even his only crit damage skill, which is weird, but okay. Big downtime though, but you know, his highs are highs and man are his lows really low though. That's Billy in a nutshell. Really high highs, super low lows. Like, there's no in between. He's not going to be average all the time. He's going to be great, or he's going to be like, it's like he wasn't even there. Second skill. Yeah, he actually has a 50% battery on a decent cooldown. No other effect, but, you know, again, because his MP actually hits pretty hard, I guess this, you know, keeps the train a bit more moving. Doesn't require a full push. There's some, you know, self-operation as well. And again, because his gains are not good, something like this helps a lot. And he has I Have the Mind false. So, yeah, evasion 1 turn, as usual. 6 turn cooldown, pretty high. The standard. 32% crit damage for 3 turns. So if this wasn't enough, yeah, you can have a bit more. So for 1 turn, you can have up to 152% crit damage just from these 2 skills alone, huh? Yeah. Like, could the kit even be more basic than what it is? Probably not. But it's not the worst I've ever seen still, all things considered. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess it's 162% because of independent action A, true. Riding C doesn't really do anything besides add some damage to him. Because again, his gains are not good and his star gen is not good, so... yeah. The only time where he can actually get some stars is like an MP quick, full-on quick chain. Then he can get a decent turn for stars, but... if you're running him on teams, you can't really always bank on having that as an option, so... yeah. And the MP. It's a good one, though. So again, much like many of these other ones, he ignores evasion for 1 turn before damage. Very high 2400 damage modifier on that single target buffed quick. MP5. And the OC is also pretty good. 20% crit down base, 3 turns. Not bad at all. Actually, one of the better OCs. Still pretty nice. So again, his MP is not the problem. A lot of the other stuff are his problems, I would say. MPQQ is around 26 to 30 stars though. I mean, that's still fine. It's a decent amount. I'm not saying every quick chain with an MP should always be like 50, but that's like the only noteworthy turn for his quiz stars. 30 is still very noteworthy. Man, Billy, huh? I have no idea where, like, for instance, Honako places him, because I know he's like the biggest Billy fan there is. And I have a feeling I'm gonna get lynched, but I wouldn't put Billy on the same tier as the A1s, honestly. I think B plus might be fair. His highs are still pretty high, but I kind of like the consistency of the other ones a bit more. And especially some of them also having more utility, like David, for instance. He's still fine, obviously. You can absolutely pick Billy over all of these other options for single targets if you want. It's not gonna be a massive difference, so... Yeah, Billy, he's still definitely very fine. Higher than Kid Gil? Yeah, I would say so, yeah. A bit easier to use than Kid Gil as well. But definitely bring supports. Right, 2 to go for the 3 stars. Next up we got, if I could find him, which I don't seem to be able to. Wait a minute. I'm blind, aren't I? There he is. I'm just blind. Ignore me. Touta, Mr. Rice. Okay. AoE Buster, Archer, DPS. Attacks definitely on the lower side for 3 stars. But, you know, higher than Billy, I guess, for what it's worth. Double Buster, double Arch deck, I think is actually fine. I think I prefer this over a full Gorilla deck, yeah. For him, yeah, I actually do. This is a fine deck, no problems. His gains are average at best, though. They're not as good as some of the other 3-star ones. I think they may be slightly better than Billy's, though. But still nothing really to go crazy over. Stargen, no, that's not gonna happen. So, pretty average upstairs, maybe, for a 3-star of his kind. Yeah. Also, again, I should note here, much like Kid Gil, I don't think I'll be placing Touta as a farmer. Yeah, definitely not. He's way better for, like, bosses or something else than farming. Doesn't mean you can't use him for farming, but still. Now, the first skill, actually not bad. 30% self-buster up. 3 turns. 6-turn cooldown, I wish it was 5, but still. Comes with another one of these 2k heals that archers seem to like, huh? Not bad for a 3-star. Definitely fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Not the craziest skill, but it's okay. He also has PFA, which is cool. Sadly, not as good as Ku's, because his is only for 2 attacks, but it still is the same thing that it doesn't expire, so still very flexible. And because it's the PFA, it also comes with the defense buff as well, so yeah. Still a very solid defensive skill, all things considered. Not as crazy as Ku. Again, I have to reiterate, but doesn't make it terrible by any means. Still a solid defensive skill despite being basic. Just super flexible. And I like the fact that both of the effects are defensive, so there's no awkward business here. You can be greedy with it, you can activate it first, or you can just be safe and save it for an MP turn. It's up to you. But the flexibility is there. It isn't awkward. It's solid. Third skill. One of his other unique skills. Party max HP up to 2k for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. Good uptime. So it's just, what this is, it's a better AoE heal. But not a big difference. Why I say better? Because you can use this on max HP. That's the difference. It's average. But, you know, you're probably going to press this button whenever it's available. So, you know, it's very easy and, you know, easy and, I don't know what I want to say here, but, you know, easy to use. You don't have to worry about anything being awkward. So again, his kit is not awkward at all. It's actually very straightforward, so it's not amazing, but you know, this is very solid. This is definitely decent, and this is just average. So all in all, his kit is still okay. It's a bit all over the place though, not gonna lie. He's kind of like half support, half DPS. That kind of survives pretty well as well. But it's not the worst mix ever. Magic Receipt is alright. Independent Action B is okay. Berserker bonus is great for the append, and the MP has been buffed, which is great because the base damage without the damage knees wasn't that great. So now, even now on the base damage, it actually does decent damage, especially with his first skill active. So don't discount it, even if you're not fighting demonic. Now, the reason the demonic damage bonus is only 50%, because it's a 3-turn buff. It's not just for the MP for that turn, it's for 3 entire turns. So you could actually do a bit of more slapping as well. And if you run a good setup, you could maybe even get another MP with this active, so you could get 2 buffs for your MP for the second one, that is. So it's interesting. And demonic, while not as good as, let's say, anti-mail or, you know, poison being active, it's still not the rarest trait there is. You know, maybe slightly behind divine for common stuff, but not the rarest thing ever. It's not anti-king. Get it? Yeah, there's gonna be some of those. I feel like Touta is slightly underappreciated, not too much. I feel like a lot of people, you know, he's kind of where he's supposed to be at, but he's slightly underappreciated. He's still fine, I would say. I might even place him in the same tier as Kid Gil, honestly. They might be interchangeable in some stuff, and what they do different, they kind of bring both to the, you know, decent, it's like similar levels of utility. So, yeah. Like, one thing is for sure, he can take care of himself, so you can kind of just go all in with, like, damage supports if you want, because he can definitely stay alive, so, you know, makes it, again, the support picks also more flexible, I suppose. So yeah, I think I'll place him similar to Kid Gil, because of their uniqueness is more or less equaling in my eyes. And then the final 1 to 3 star archer, and one of my favorites, actually of the low stars, definitely my favorite, William Tell, single target arts DPS. Definitely many of those, but he's another one. Attack, average, to slightly higher than average for a 3 star, still not bad. Double arts, double buster deck, I think is okay. Triple arts would be preferable, but again, that's not going to happen with his arts MP, right? So it's basically as good as it gets. Gains, good. I'm happy to report they are good. They're definitely top among the low star archers, for sure. So that's good. He even can generate some stars if you have like a buster quick chain. Can generate a chunk of stars, not crazy amounts, but chunk. So it's worth mentioning, I suppose. So yeah, for a 3 star, good stuff up here. He has really cool skills, man. Also a lot of good synergy. So, the first one. Sadly, it's a skill seal. MP seal would be so much better, but at least it scales up to 100%. But if anything, the big thing is it's a 30 bomb for stars. 6-turn cooldown, though. So it's still, I would say, average as a skill. It would be more than average if it was an MP seal instead of a skill seal, but yeah. Also, slight bonus because it synergizes with his other stuff, namely the 3rd skill, but first the 2nd skill. So what this is basically just better version of Euryale's 3rd skill, which was already very decent if you remember me saying. So this is just quite a bit better because the 2nd effect actually big. Debuff immune self, 3 turns. Not just like immune to mental debuffs or anything. Every debuff you can resist will be resisted. Yeah. I guess Euryale, yeah, you're right, actually. It's not fully, like, just strictly better because Euryale is a 5-turn cooldown. But in a lot of cases, I would say this 3-turn debuff immune is definitely worth the cooldown. It depends. But I would say maybe in most cases, it's worth it over the skill that Euryale has. Both are still very solid, though. So yeah, that's good, again. And then the 3rd skill, which again, the Star Bomb is really good for. Much like Billy, his highs are high, but he's not all about the highs, because remember, there's some uptime as well, and his gains are also much better. So this is for the high highs. So yeah, he's gonna get every star for a turn. Yeah, he's gonna do crazy crit damage for a turn like Billy. 5-turn cooldown, not the best, not the worst, and again, much easier to enable because of the Star Bomb as well. So overall, his kit has actually pretty good synergy. Always nice to have. Magic Resist D, sadly, could be higher. Independent Action A is very nice, because again, he has that crit potential with these 2 skills, and being an archer. Assassin bonus doesn't make a difference. Then the MP. Again, another anti-evade MP. But you know, it's always nice to have, I suppose. Sadly, no buffs, so the base damage is not the highest, unless you hit his niche, okay? So, if an enemy has evade, they're dead. They're just dead. You're just gonna erase them, right? starting from 200% base damage OC. Ridiculous. Not the easiest thing to enable though. Sorta tricky to enable, because usually when an enemy uses an evasion or gets an evasion, it's from a skill they use when they're like under half HP, so it's not the easiest thing to use. And remember, at that point you might not even need the bonus damage anyway, because they're most likely going to be lower on HP if they used an evasion to begin with, unless it's like a boss that has like, you know, when you break their bar they get like a chance-based evasion for like the rest of the fight. Then it's going to be amazing, obviously, but in a lot of cases it's slightly awkward, right? Still a decent MP though, because of at least this thing, and you know, him having an arts buff. He's just consistent. He might not be as high on damage as his competition is, but he's very consistent. Just very, very consistent. I almost want to place him in A though, but he's definitely at least B+. If he ever gets like an MP buff or something, because I think his skills are fine as is for a 3-star, then he could be a lot better, honestly. I almost want to place him in A though, just because of how good his numbers are, and his kit is also definitely way above a 3-star on average. Man, it's a tough one, honestly. But I think I'll leave him in B+ for now. But again, for all of these single target archers, you can kind of, they're, in a lot of cases they're very interchangeable. Obviously in some cases others are clearly better than others if you can enable some niches, but yeah, I think I'll place him in B+. That's me trying to be unbiased as well, by the way, because I really like him. I have a fully maxed one on JP. Alright, back to day 1 stuff, because we are going to 4-star surveys, and we're gonna start with a big one. It's ya boy, Mr. Swords, EMIYA. AoE Buster / Arts DPS Extraordinaire. Very interesting case. Attack is just slightly above average for a 4-star, not too bad. Triple Arts deck. But unlike, again, someone else we'll see later in this list, doesn't really cripple him too much. It cripples his crit potential a bit, because, you know, you would like to open with a Buster and a crit turn, but at least his MP can also be Buster, or is Buster in most cases, so if you have that as a lead up, it also helps. So it's honestly not bad, and his gains are still actually pretty good. They're definitely above average. They're not crazy good, like you kind of need crits, and maybe even overkill to make them really shine, but even on average, especially with the triple arts, consistent gains nonetheless. And also something worth noting is that his star gain, while not great in his like normal you know, face cards, his MP is definitely Arts Buster. Even on the Arts version, very capable of bringing in the stars, especially in combination with his second skill. So he also has very decent potential for star generation. So yeah, he's doing pretty well, I would say, for himself. Now the first skill, the only thing that hasn't been buffed in his entire kit. He has a basic Mind's Eye True. It works as his defensive option, I suppose. It just works. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's alright. Second skill used to be pretty damn garbage, because I still hate Clairvoyance, even on his MP. That was the only reason I ever needed him. But man, I still think this is one of the best buffs in the history of buffs, and this happened a long time ago. It's just so good. They really turned this up to 11. Like, not only did they improve drastically on the number for the star gen, like 2.5 times, they added a second effect that says just 100% crit damage for 3 turns. Are you kidding me? That's just an added effect. That's pretty ridiculous. You'd think this would be like a higher number, like on a number that already existed, but it doesn't. It didn't exist. That is a lot of damn crit damage, dude. They call him a crit god for a reason, okay? Half the time, unless you get, you know, shitty stuff happens, you're gonna have it up. Pretty nuts. Also, I should note that on EMIYA's case here, I'm not gonna rate him purely as a farmer or a DPS. He's gonna get bonus, like he's good for like everything, right? So keep that in mind here. Used to be a shitty this skill used to be a shitty mana burst for arts, very bad. Less shitty, but still pretty bad. A rainbow doesn't make it good, by the way. You'd still prefer a higher for one of these. But now he has one of the best utilities in the game. He can turn his MP into arts for a turn. Now, obviously, if this was 3 turns, he would be the best servant in the game. Probably. He'll probably be the best servant in the game for DPS if this was 3 turns. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, even for 1 turn, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They even upped the numbers on their rainbow buffs to be like just 3 different mana bursts. So that's cool, you know? That's pretty damn cool. And the reason well, we're about to see why, again, most people already know, why the reason the arts is so ridiculous on his MP. So it's not just for like, you know, like you'll see. Magic Res D sadly could be higher, Independent Action C or B also could be higher, but still, eh. And then the MP, which also has been buffed. So it has had a normal effect, which ignores defense, which is good, always nice to have. The OC, pretty negligible. It's only at 10% on base for AoE attack down. It is 3 turns, which is nice, but in a lot of cases it's kind of negligible. But yeah, it's a 10-hit MP. It's a 10-hit MP. What? Like, they made it possible to be Arts MP. When this MP is Arts, it is by far, no competition whatsoever, the best looping MP in the game. No one else comes even close in the entire game when this is Arts. It's not even close. He's like at least 2 times higher or something than the second best option for just looping numbers for the MP. Like you can with his own stuff alone, you can kind of go from 0 to 100. It's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, he's very insanely flexible and super consistent. He's just really good. No niche, no nothing, just consistent in everything. Ridiculous. I have to do this. I think. I have to do this. I think I placed him in A+ last year. And I think his buff was out as well at the time. But man, he's just so damn solid, dude. Just so damn solid on everything. And again, remember, this is not going to be compared to some of the 5 stars that may or not make it here, okay? Keep in mind, this is on a 4-star scale. Oh, fuck, I disconnected my earbuds. Damn it. The sound is coming from the speakers, I'm sorry. Okay, fixed. So yeah, this is among 4 stars. You gotta keep that in mind, right? Yeah, maybe he was EX last year as well, so I don't remember. I still very much think he's amazing, so... Yeah, if you want to disagree, that's fine, but because of how consistent it is, no niche needed, he's got everything he needs in his kit, he's great for farming, great for bosses. How could I not place him in EX? He's just a god tier 4-star in the game, not just among archers. I think I would be robbing him if I didn't do this, so yeah. But feel free to disagree, that's what opinions are for. The dog starts going when Neon Tie's happening, huh? Alright. Do I include the existence of Castor in the rankings? Absolutely, yes. Everything is taken into account here. This is up to date on JP. Everything I'm doing here. Alright, Nianta. Another Day 1 Servant. 4-star AoE quick damaging archer. Attack definitely on the lower side for a 4-star. Not atrocious though, but still somewhat low. God, the dog chooses the worst timings to start barking. I'm gonna try focus anyway. Hopefully it's not too loud. Quick double arts. Maybe the triple quick would make more sense because even with the double arts, her gains are bad. They're just bad. Like actually just bad. Again, I know why it is. It's because of the MP and the hit count, but yeah, because of that, triple quick probably would have been better, but oh well. Maybe even double buster, double quick. But in a lot of cases, the deck doesn't really matter too much, does it? Because I might be placing her as a loop farmer here, potentially. Because I think that's what she does the best. You could, again, bring her in all kinds of other stuff, but yeah. Skills. I like that they buffed this. It's just... It's the most... This is the most, like, unnecessary buff ever. Like, and I shouldn't say unnecessary. This skill used to be pretty bad. But it's not a great buff, because it barely changes it. It just adds 14%, like 12 to 14% more quick up for the 1-turn AoE team quick buff on a 5-turn cooldown. Like, dude, the year 1 shenanigans. Year 1 game design choices. This would never happen in this day. This would never happen. If this was the only skill that she had, like, this wasn't buffed, if they were to buff it, they might do this, which makes sense because the number looks way better now, but they would definitely add other stuff here as well. It would not be just this. No way in hell this would pass if this was a 2022 buff. Or even the past few years or so. Is ridiculous. So it's an okay skill. It's a better quick mana burst because it's AoE. But in a lot of cases, your teammates are not really gonna use it that much anyway. So yeah, meh. Second skill, for farming, pretty irrelevant, but you know, if you want to bring her against bosses, at least it's the cooldown is pretty small. The downtime is still 75%, but yeah, I guess she can have a decent crit turn. But with the archer number for the absorb, she will definitely get the stars this one turn, but just weak. There's nothing else. Weak. And then the third skill, which is her version of the mind's eye dodge, I guess, which honestly, if this wasn't here, she would not be looping in the first place. So thank God this is here, because she has a much better role in the game now. So she gets up to a 50% MP gain for 3 turns, which is good. This makes or breaks her looping, needless to say. So she would not be able to do anything without this for looping. Pretty underwhelming kid in my opinion. Just weak sauce across the board. Magic was D. This is good though. This is good, especially combined with the second skill. So at least, you know, that passive works. And Berserker. Yeah, she has Berserker bonus as well. So, you know, another small bonus. Nice. MP. Again, year 1 design choices. The only... Well, at least they made the OZ slightly better with the buff. But yeah, besides that, it's just a normal damage buff. And 5 more stars per rank. Let's go. It's not Caesar levels though. It's not like it's 5 stars, so it's 15 on base, so it's not bad. It's alright. But yeah, the MP itself actually does decent damage. She herself doesn't do that much damage with like face cards or even with like a crit, because this is the only crit damage she has. But the MP itself actually does good damage, definitely. Yeah, I think I'll just be placing her as like a loop farmer. Now, some people gave me like some advice, and again, criticism is always welcome. I'm not saying that, but people were saying like, maybe I shouldn't be rating servants based on like 2x like Castoria or 2x Scotty with them. But if like someone like Nyanta, she is not the best for like anything else, honestly, besides like Scotty looping. So I feel like I would just be mean for me to place her in like D+ or something as a DPS, or not like a loop farmer. So I feel like it would be doing her a bit dirty. So one of the Bs? Ooh, I have no idea where I placed her last year. I don't remember. Probably one of the Bs. Like, you gotta realize that even quick looping is still not the best. Like, it's probably the weakest of all the card types. But she can do it, definitely, consistently. So that's good. And it's pretty easy to do, I suppose. So I think B is... I can't really place her under B, because at least she has that good looping potential, you know? So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to change it today now. I'm just saying, people were pointing that out. I'm not really going to change my criteria at this point. So yeah, she's still fine. Not the day 1 servant next, but the first welfare, right? Well, I guess you can consider a Nobukatsu a welfare, I suppose, but the first welfare 4-star, Nobu. Still a year 1 servant though, but not day 1. Gouda 1. AoE Buster DPS. Attack. Again, much like EMIYA, just above average for a 4-star, not too bad. Double arts, double buster deck, honestly, I feel is pretty good for her. I think that's like as good as it gets. Also, yeah, can a mod do something about the song request? Because, you know, I'm trying to focus here. Can we not? Alright, thanks. Again, ignore that if you're watching this on YouTube. Gains are not terrible. They're not as good as EMIYA by any means, but not terrible. Especially when you have the MP gain skill active, and especially if you land some crits, which is a bit easier, no, because she also has some absorb and whatnot, but yeah. Not too bad for upstairs, I would say. Especially for a welfare, not too bad. Skills, here's the first one. So it's not always like 50% MP gain because it's AoE. So it's a 30% AoE 3-turn MP gain buff for the team. 6-turn cooldown. Average at best, I would say. And again, I should note that Nobu probably won't be placed as a farmer here. She's definitely going to be placed as a DPS. Yeah, she's not really farming anything. So yeah, this will come into play then. So it's just average at best, I would say. Is this better than Saber Lilies? I forgot what her numbers were, but yeah, it's similar if anything. Or the same. Then the second skill. Oh, this is like very similar to like Artemis, which we'll get to later. But Own divine damage against divine up to 100% for 1 turn, a 5-turn cooldown. So the uptime is not good, but you know, at least the silver lining is that divine is still one of the most common traits if you're fighting bosses. If you are gonna look at some of the more niche traits that are not like just gender based or, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, save ability is 20% for 3 turns. But is the cooldown like 5 then maybe? But maybe they kind of break even or something. So yeah, this is not that good though. It's just a basic skill. I mean, it can make for a good turn, but besides that, it's like a conditional mana burst that has more damage. But if anything, I honestly think a normal mana burst for Buster would be better than this, even if it's lower on number. And then the third skill, which is actually good. Now, don't be fooled. This is actually, I believe this is identical to, what you called, Self-Suggestion A, right? Which is, you know, 5-turn cooldown, 600% crit damage, or absorption, crit damage, that would be insane, and 50% crit damage. It's a good crit skill, though. Even on this day and age, Self-Suggestion and these variants are still good. They make for some consistent crit servants. So, if anything, Nobu is actually a crit servant. First and foremost here. So yeah, at least this skill is actually pretty okay. Not bad. Magic Resp is nice. This is also nice, not too bad. I guess, you know what? In some weird case, Fighting Rider could be okay because she does have an anti-riding MP, but yeah, you're probably not going to bring her over like an assassin or alter ego or whatever you want to bring as riders. So it's an interesting thing though. And then the MP, like I mentioned, yeah. No, nothing else for the normal effects besides, you know, you do gotta keep in mind she is free MP5 though, which is nice. But then the niche is against riding enemies. But lucky for her, a good chunk of sabers at least the servants, have the riding passive, so it's not as bad as it could be, you know. Yeah, Altera's worst nightmare right here. Yeah. Both the niches work, right? But again, that's what it is. She has 2 niches, which is kind of annoying. So in almost every case, she will never be in her 100%. Unfortunate. And because the kit is as basic as it is, if she's not doing like amazingly well with the niches, she kind of falls flat, in my opinion. I think she is honestly, like every archer of all rarities, she might be one of the weakest. And that says a lot because archers are good. She might be like here, just because it's a free MP5. This is probably where I placed her last year as well, but yeah. Free MP5 is nice, decent crit potential, but besides that, just... like, in comparison, like, I would probably use most of the other AoE 4-star archers, even at MP1. Maybe not all of them, you'll see one soon enough that definitely is not as good, but yeah. I don't think they're ever gonna buff her, though. They don't really buff welfares that often, and she doesn't even have like an instinct or something that would be easy to buff. What if you pair her with Nobukatsu? Slightly better, but even then you might have better supporting options, honestly. I don't know, because I don't think she really... I said earlier that, you know, Nobukatsu is pretty good with Archer, but maybe honestly, yeah, maybe Nobukatsu is mostly for Mao, because at least Archer already has good absorb for crits, so if anything, Nobukatsu is just bring a bit more buster stuff and stars. So in that sense, you could bring someone else. Yeah, I don't know. Not terrible though, but very, very average. And that's basically what C+ is. Around the average mark, so. Now this is a cool one. Oh, baby. Where you at? I'm blind. No pun intended. I know he's not blind, but still, he never opens his eyes, basically. So, Tristan. Single target, quick archer DPS / support. Again, have to emphasize that part. Attack, nice, 9.7k, above average, very nice too. Double quick, double arch deck. I think is fine, honestly. Yeah, maybe triple quick would be better, but it's still okay, not too bad. Gains are above average, not crazy good. Maybe comparable to EMIYA, if anything, I would say. Somewhere around that. Obviously, their decks are different, but still good. And also, actually not bad for star generation for Tristan here. With the especially with an MP, full-on MP quick chain. Good chunk of stars. But even outside that, you do like a Buster quick. If you look at his hit counts, and they're good. So, yeah. Don't discount his star gen as well. Now, he used to also have Harp of Healing like David, which was honestly, again, still good skill. But the madmen buffed it, and they made it so damn good. Even it was already good. Oh my god, this skill. Ooh, this skill right here is ridiculous. So they added a self 3-turn quick up for 30%. That's juicy. That is juice. And then they improved the mental debuff thing to be a full cleanse. No matter what the debuffs are, it's just a full cleanse. And even, let me add more. They even improved the healing almost by 2. This is a ridiculous skill. It's an absolutely ridiculous skill. The only downside is slightly awkward because you probably would like to get the quick buff immediately while you might not want to use the cleanse and the evade immediately. But even then, it's ridiculous. This is an EX tier skill. Right here is what you're looking at. Ridiculous. Second skill, much like Billy, has a 50% battery, but unlike Billy, has a demerit that seals MP. But if you remember what I was just talking about, this now also can cleanse his own MP seal, because it didn't used to do that, because MP seal is not listed as a mental debuff, but now he can do it himself too, if you want. But even, honestly, I still feel like in a lot of cases, people put way much emphasis on this demerit. It wasn't that bad. Like, even if you couldn't MP turn 1, who fucking cares? It wasn't that bad. But again, he can just deal with him. Like, there's another option to deal with it himself now too. So it's still obviously not an amazing skill, but you know, it's less annoying than what it used to be. And then the third skill, great against bosses. Much like Paris, single target, buffs gone. Everything you can remove, gone. And much like Paris, he has unlike Paris, he has a better version of the crit chance debuff. For this is for 3 turns, 20%, 5-turn cooldown as well. That's good on a buff strip. That's good. Like, this skill might look basic, but it's good. It's a good skill. Magic Resist B and Independent Action B, very nice. And then the MP also has been buffed, and not just the damage buff. I don't even care that they didn't really touch the OC because it's not really super relevant, but they did add a second normal effect. Ignores defense buffs now as well, on top of ignore evasion. At least the OC is 3 turns of debuff resistance down. So, you know, it could make a difference in case you have RNG debuffs or someone has innate resistance, so not too bad. Great MP, honestly. Solid. Even at MP 1, pretty good damage, especially now with the new buff, adding some more damage to his own kit. Ooh, man, Tristan. He is looking pretty good. Dude, he is pretty damn solid. I think at least an A+. Dude, this is a hard one. Oh my god. I think he is really damn good, though. But I'm not sure if I can place him in EX, even after all those buffs. But don't get me wrong, he's really damn solid. And again, this is not a comparison today. But keep this in mind. This is not, you don't compare the same, like, different rarities. So if you think that's dirty, it's not a comparison. I still think he's like definitely a better David, by every stretch of the word. But yeah, I think A+ is where I might place him at. He's just super solid regardless. There you go. Yeah, maybe like a high A+ or something. There you go. Tristan looking good these days. Not just in, you know, the other version, I suppose. Damn, we're nearly 2 hours in already. Still going though. No intention of stopping. Oh, I closed the Archer tab, my bad. Here we go. Back. So the next one is, oh, okay, now we're going from Tristan to Summer and Mary, huh? So the very first Summer, a 4-star unit. Single target, I want to say Buster? I haven't used them in a while. Yes, single target Buster MP, much like their Rider counterpart, I suppose, that's the point, I suppose. Attack is more or less average, just higher than average. Not a whole lot, very average for a 4-star, still okay. Double Buster, double Arts. God damn it, dude! I keep disconnecting my earbuds. I need to get new. I need to get Bluetooth once this cord is broken. Deck is fine, I think. Maybe double quick would have made more sense than double arts, because their gains are not that good to begin with. In fact, they're actually pretty bad. Yeah, I've used them not many times, but I have used them, so... Yeah, honestly, double quick probably would have been better than double arts. Stargen is not terrible, but again, with double quick it would have been better, so it's still not that good. Definitely pales in comparison to some other ones in this list, even on 4 stars. Not pretty average upstairs. I'm not talking about the cleavage. That's another tier list. They would rank higher, I suppose, at least Anne would. At least this skill is interesting. It's just like a better version of Charisma. The numbers, I think, more or less match to Charisma A+, maybe even slightly higher, same cooldown. But, you know, if you're running them with male servants, they can also get up to 41% crit star generation for 3 turns, which, again, not the biggest deal ever. But, you know, it's worth noting that it's still a slightly better version of Charisma, but still average, I would say. A+ is 21%, okay. So, yeah, I guess it's a fair trade-off, if anything. Yeah, again, weird numbers. Just weird numbers. The year 1 stuff. Remember that. Second skill. Self-absorb up 1 turn and a 15-star bomb. So... If you compare this to William Tell, it's so much worse, isn't it? Because his is a 5-turn cooldown. His absorb is a lot better, and his... Well, I guess he doesn't have a star bomb here. It's crit damage instead, but he has a star bomb elsewhere, which is also bigger, so... It's weak. Why is this a 6-turn cooldown? Can anyone explain to me what warrants this skill to be a 6-turn cooldown? Is it because of the 15 star bomb? Dude, Nobukatsu gets 15 stars per turn for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. I don't understand. Yeah, year 1 is the best explanation. There is no business this skill should have a 6-turn cooldown. That is ridiculous. No. Third skill. I like this skill a lot. Not only because actually the buff is not bad. It's a self-attack up for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. Decent at 25.5%. But because of the guts buff, it's only a 1 HP guts and a 1-time guts. But if you notice, it has no turn limit. So it's one of the rare... I think there's like 3 or 4 of them in the game of all servants that is a guts effect that never expires. So you can immediately pop this turn 1, get your attack buff, don't need to worry about wasting your guts. You're good to go. Very nice to use. Now, I guess it does come with the demerit of 50% debuffers down for 3 turns, so... Not a very big demerit in my opinion, but, you know, I guess it's there. Honestly, still a decent skill, I would say. Definitely a decent skill. With the buff, the cooldown, and the endless guts, actually pretty decent. Yeah, I believe the others are Blackbeard with the same skill as this, and then Kama with a different skill, but also a unlimited quote-unquote guts. So, yeah, I think they might be the only ones, unless I'm forgetting someone. Magic Gris D kind of sucks. This is nice, though. Especially because they don't have any crit damage in the kit, so this is nice to have. And then the MP. Obviously, as a summer servant, they haven't really been buffed, so... Ooh, that's a weak MP. Ooh. So again, much like the Rider version, it does more damage based on the lower you are, but that's the only other normal effect it has. Base damage is unbuffed, obviously, and the OC is a 3-turn defense down at flat 10% after damage. Still pretty damn weak as an MP, in my opinion. Is not good. It's not the worst MP I've ever seen, but weak is what it is. Just weak. Man. See? See? I don't know. They're not that good. They're pretty bad, I would say, among 4 stars at least. There's so many better options, I would say. Maybe even a D+, honestly. They're tragic like their Rider counterpart, if anything, you know? Because even their gains are not that good. They need support like crazy. D is too low, but this might be... It's one of these two. But maybe I want to be a bit savage for now, here and there. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with D+ for now. Oh, man. Okay, this next one, though. Okay, here we go. So we go from Anne Summer to Kuro. Well, this is an interesting one, huh? Yeah. The second welfare. Also, quite a bit of a difference to Nobu. So, single target arts DPS archer. Pretty high attack. That's good. Double arts, double quick. Triple arts would have been the best, but you know what? At least both of those arts cards are ridiculous. They're nuts. Her MP gain is obviously a bit nerfed because of the card hit count, but don't underestimate her gains. They're still very good. Her gains on average are still very solid. Maybe even better than EMIYA's, honestly. I think they might be, yeah. And that says quite a bit. So, yeah. Like, everyone who's ever used Kuro, you know that moment when you land that overkill arts crit? Is ridiculous. And she has 2 of them. And she's an archer, so critting is not super hard. It's kind of ridiculous. So, yeah. And even her star gen is actually not bad, especially when you have the buff from the battery, right? She can actually dish out a lot of stars as an art servant. A lot of stars. Like Billy is crying in the corner. He's a quick servant, and he sucks in star generation compared to Kuro, who's an art servant. It's kind of unfair. Also, let me hydrate a little. My voice is already starting to die. So one of the rare cases where art servant is really good for star gen. Yeah, Kuro is basically what Billy wants to be. Minus a little bit less crit damage, but still. Speaking of crit damage, the first skill. She has Eye of the Mind Falls. Again, just a very decent, basic defensive skill. Not much to say about it. It's alright. It works. I like the fact that she does this. When I did my 4-star list yesterday, last year, I actually rated Kuro just slightly above Kintoki Rider, I believe. Mostly for the fact that Kintoki's third skill sucks as a defensive option, and this one is a much better one. That was basically the difference maker. Something to word note, I guess. And sadly, her mana burst isn't as good as EMIYA's. Not only is the number quite a bit worse, she also cannot, change her MP type. She probably wouldn't want to change it anyway, to be honest, but yeah. Pretty weak. I have a feeling some people rate rainbows too high, but yeah, it's pretty weak. It makes your brave chain a bit less, and your brave chain MP chain a bit more flexible, but it's just kind of weak. I guess, yeah, we have the buffed version of the thing, which doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, like Billy, 50% battery, but unlike Billy, 100% star gen, 3 turns. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, and I guess, if you are running her with Illya allies, they get buff success rate up, because, they love making Illya, a victim of RNG. So the only case where I could see you running them is with Summer Illya, because at least she's an archer as well, who we'll cover as well later. But besides that, I would not run Kuro with either Sitonai or Caster. It just doesn't make any sense. You would get this elsewhere otherwise. But yeah, it's a great skill. Good battery, great secondary effect. Billy is crying once again. Again, I don't want that to sound a comparison though, because it's unfair to compare a 4-star to a 3-star, but there are similarities, I suppose. Magic Receipt could be higher, this also could be higher, but still both work with her cause. And then the MP, it's a good one. Another, take a shot every time an archer ignores evasion with their MP. Because there's another one, which again, it's just nice utility to have. It's better than just a normal effect, like nothing else for normal effect. And the OC is also good. Is it the same as Billy actually? I think it is, right? It might be the exact same OC. So at least they're equal. But it's a good OC. 20% crit chance down for 3 turns on base. It's solid. And also, free MP5 means her MP does ridiculous damage. Oh yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, Kuro was actually one of the only EX ratings on my 4-star tier list last year. I'm pretty sure. And I might still be willing to do this again, honestly. Like, she's that good. She's one of the best welfares in the history of the entire game, honestly. Just solid all across the board. As a boss killer. Like, you can use her against any Saber boss, and you're still gonna do fine. Even better than many 5-stars, I would say, as options. I'm gonna think about it for a while, but for now, I think I will actually place her in EX. I think. But again, Galahad, you gotta remember, this is still among 4 stars. Okay? This is still among 4 stars. I know there's stuff like Summer, Anastasia later as well and whatnot, but... yeah. Still, even considered. Oh, for now. There's gonna be many of these that rank high that I might have to tweak between them, because a lot of them do similar roles with similar rarities. So, for now, chill. Okay. Right. Speaking of EMIYA, I guess we got Mr. Edgier version. Okay. So, EMIYA Alter, single target, arts, DPS extraordinaire. Much like Kuro, I suppose. Thanks for the 11 months, Majora. Welcome back to the Gao Gang. Also, Fei Yang, thank you for the brand new Prime sub. Welcome to the Gao Gang. Thank you, my dudes. So his deck is sadly a bit lower. Definitely quite a bit lower than the average, but not horrible. Double arts, double quick deck. So imitating Kuro here as well, I suppose. I guess it's alright. I don't think quick is that good for him though. Quick is definitely a lot better for Kuro because of the star gen. For him, quick is not that good. So obviously triple arts would have been better, but don't think they were ever going to do that. Gains are actually also quite a bit worse than Kuro's actually. His gains without help are not that good. Don't let the numbers fool you. Here they are actually quite a bit weaker, I would say. There's a big difference between a 4 and a 6 hit arts card as well. Oh yeah. Also star gen, unlike Kuro, is not that good. Not that good. So overall, he kind of is in every way kind of just weaker here than Kuro. So that's not a great start for him. But not terrible. That's just comparing her to Kuro. So I don't want that to sound too overly negative or anything like that. Now, the first skill is actually interesting. This is like back in Shinjuku, they actually started implementing some of these hit or turn-based stuff. And he definitely has a lot of them in his kit, you're going to see. So, defense up, self, 3 attacks, 5 turns, and also a damage cut for 3 attacks. So, honestly, I think this is a very great skill. It's actually way better than it looks, because it's a 50%. Like, in most cases, you're not going to lose the 3 of these stacks in 1 turn. So, it's actually pretty flexible. So, depending on your comp, you can, again, soak an MP. Because, I mean, that's his only defensive option to begin with. So you better be soaking unless you can provide him like invul or evade or something. So actually not a bad defensive skill at all. Also, if you're going to get hit, if you have this active and you get hit by face cards, they're not going to do any damage to you. You're not going to take 0 like with Fujino, but you're going to take like no damage at all basically. Second skill. So... again, like Kuro, he's just the worst version of Kuro, and definitely worse than EMIYA's normals. So it's a 30%, not even 35, 30% rainbow buff across the board. Weak, just weak. Definitely needs a buff. Please give this man some more love. EMIYA is already fucking nuts. Why is his alter version not nuts? And then the third spot, which again, it's one of these, they start experimenting with this stuff. So it's a 3-time or 5 turns attack up on a 5-turn cooldown. 40%, it's not terrible, but this is so much easier to deplete than this one, so it's not as good in my opinion. Like, it's not even a Brave Chain, because the extra wouldn't get this buff. It's awkward. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not terrible. It's still better than like a... in most cases, better than like a 1-turn monstrous strength, potentially. Unless you get a Brave Chain, then, you know, depending on the number of the monstrous strength, it might be better. So, yeah, it's just average at best, I would say, this skill. So, average at best, pretty weak, and actually pretty good. Those are the skills. Magic Resist D, again. Do I want to say it? Worse than Kuro's, isn't it? I think it was, yeah. At least this one is better. There you go. More crit damage. Not that he has, you know, a lot of crit synergy at all in his kits, at least besides the Archer Natural Absorb being pretty decent, so... And then the MP, which luckily has been buffed. And his MP famously actually does a lot of it's just a very damaging MP, okay? Even on lower MP levels. Also, as a bonus normal effect, he doesn't ignore evasion, but he does ignore defense buffs, much like his OG counterparts. But man, I'm not a fan of the OC. It would be such an amazing OC, but I hate the fact it scales from 80% upwards. You literally need a 500% chance to guarantee it. I hate that. It's like carry, right? I think, if I remember correctly. I hate this. Same as like Archery as well. Many others share this problem. I don't like it that it's RNG. Because this can be a big deal. It can be a make or break thing. I love the effect. Drain is always great against boss. It's super strong. Especially when the boss doesn't have powerful face cards. But I hate the fact that it's 80%. Still a good MP though, post buff. Very strong. But man, I hate the RNG. Oh man. I would honestly probably take, again, not to sound beat the dead horse too much. I would take Kuro's OC over this. At least that's consistent. The 20%, you know, crit chance down for 3 turns. I would take that over this RNG. What am I gonna do with you? B plus? A maybe? I don't know. B plus I feel like. I think his kit is too weak. And his numbers are not that good. He needs a lot of help. But he can still do a lot of good work. He's just like a much worse version of Kuro in my opinion. It's like night and day. You can't even really compare those two. So there you go. Not bad though. Definitely very usable, but sadly a bit too basic for my tastes. Oh man, it's not gonna get a whole lot better, is it? Okay. Summer Helena, we're back here. Oh, I remember this from last year. Oh baby, okay. So, AoE arts DPS, I guess? Because I don't think I can really call her a farmer because her damage is atrociously bad. I don't know what to do. What do I do with Helena? I don't know. Attack is at least decent. It's just on over average for a 4-star. Deck, double arts, double quick. They could have easily made it triple arts. Come on. Because the gains are not that good even with these card numbers. Oh my god. Like, a caster version is so much better than Archer is. Oh my god. Stargen, it can be okay for an Archer at least, so there's that, I suppose. But yeah, it's... At least the upstairs is not the end of the world, but man, the kit itself and... Oh man. So, a party, 20% battery, right? That's great, right? 8-turn cooldown! You have to be shitting me! 8 turns! And it's a 5 stars every turn for 5 turns. 5? 8 turn? What warrants an 8-turn cooldown for this? In what world does this? 8 turns? Even 6 wouldn't be that bad. I guess then maybe they would lower the number of the stars per turn, but still. 8 turns! It's ridiculous. It's not that good, okay? Oh god. Anyway, second skill. Oh man, the only good thing about this skill, it has a guaranteed single target drain. That's fine. Everything else, yikes. It's a 5 attacker, 5 turn damage up. Not attack up, not arts up. Damage up. It's flat damage. It's flat damage. That's not gonna... Like, you get, for a Brave Chain, you get 8,000 more damage. Woo! 8,000 on max rank. Let's go. Again, the slight upside is that this is damage on top. So if by some miracle you're in like a quest where an enemy has like 100% defense, this will always go through no matter what. Doesn't go through to evade though, but you know, like a defensive stack, it will counter, but it really won't make a difference, let's be real. Third skill. 1 turn arts buff, 40%. Could you not have at least made it like 30% 3 turns? Debuff immune 1 time or 5 turns. 5 turns. It's weak. It's weak. It's weak. It is weak. What is this kit? Plagued by high cooldowns, very underwhelming effects, and... No. No. This is a limited 4-star. Year 2. Magic Receipt, I guess, helps if you're going to bring her against bosses. Again, I wouldn't really farm with her. Independent Action C, yeah, again. Then the MP itself. No other normal effects. Never been buffed, so the damage is what it is. Debuff, res down, defense down, low numbers, 3 turns, after damage. It's such a weak. Anyone who's ever used her, unless you have like a Grailed MP5, obviously that doesn't count, but anyone who's ever used her, she's a sponge. That's what she is. She's a wet sponge. She would be a bit better if she was single target for sure. I think even Summer Ann is better, honestly. I don't think she's E tier worthy, but yeah. E might be a bit too savage, but honestly, I think even Summer Ann is still better. Yeah. What a servant. Okay. More 4 stars. We got a pretty big favorite, so I'm probably gonna get lynched here. Probably not though, because I'm probably gonna give her a decent rating. But here's Tomoe. Single target, Buster DPS, high attack, very close to 10k. That's good for a 4 star. Double Buster, double arts. I think that's more or less a perfect deck for her playstyle. Very nice. Gains, not bad. I would say above average. Definitely fine. Stargen, if you have the Stargen buff active, it's okay for an archer. Otherwise, it's pretty bad. But you know, some potential for that too, I suppose. So overall, I like what I'm seeing here already. Skills, again, just, you know, I guess a better version of charisma, because it still has the party attack, which more or less the same number, maybe slightly lower than the highest charismas, but also comes with self MP damage up. A decent chunk, not the biggest, but at least it's 3 turns. It might be better if this was 1 turn, but honestly, no, actually no, because then this wouldn't be awkward to use. Yeah, you know what, this is better, yeah. Not amazing, but definitely better than a charisma. Decent uptime because of the charisma style skill. Second skill, this is nice because unlike many of the other ones we've seen before, her absorb is 3 turns, and 600% is definitely enough for an archer to get consistently, or get stars consistently. Also, I guess, yeah, here's the other part. Yeah, it's party-wide, including herself, Stargen for 3 turns, 50%. So, I guess it's a cool bonus, yeah. So, and it's on a 6-turn cooldown, which I think is kind of fair. Yeah, it's okay. Not too bad. It's a pretty good skill. Definitely makes her way more consistent. And then her, I guess, defensive option. It's a Guts for 1 time, 5 turns on a 7-turn cooldown. So pretty standard. Not bad. Not amazing. Pretty standard. Pretty flexible. I like that. And then also more defense stuff. Max HP, 5 turns for up to 3k. Actually not bad. Again, you can use this in turn 1 if you want, and still not even waste a heal because it's max HP instead of a heal. So, again, it's not awkward because it's all defensive and something you can kind of pop very early on to begin with. Both the effects kind of synergize, so yeah. For a gut skill, it's actually not bad at all. It's actually pretty decent. So I actually like her kit. It works. It's basic, but it really works. Magic Resist B is nice. This is also very nice because, again, she doesn't have crit damage in the kit besides the absorb. Madness Enhancement E obviously is nice. Sadly, it's rank E, so it won't really make a meaningful difference, but it's nice to have considering she's mostly Buster. Berserker bonus is always nice. And then the MP has been buffed. And it's nice. Normal effects. Burn, who cares? Who fucking cares? Unless you're gonna run her with Honey Lake, then, you know, you will care. And you could do that. But if not, who cares? Same with the OC. Who cares with the about the amplifier? I guess the amplifier doesn't even work for Honey Lake. It has to be this one that lands, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this doesn't count. But this other normal effect is really nice. It works kind of all the time. So 5 turn, 20% crit chance down. So it's even better than like Kuro, for instance. It's a 5 turn one. It is a very solid normal effect to have against bosses. And because the MP has been buffed, it also does decent damage on base. So again, there's no niche to worry about. And she's just synergizes really well with her own kit. Good damage. A+ after the buff, maybe? I think I placed her in A+ last year. I don't remember. Definitely one of the A's. Maybe here after the MP buff. Because she's just solid. She's just consistent and solid. She's not like a meta-changing servant. But again, this is among the 4 stars. I think she's definitely here. for many, maybe a bit different reasons than Tristan, because Tristan also has the party utility, but I feel like she definitely brings more damage than what Tristan does, so I guess, you know, that's fair, if anything. And there you go. Now, a lot of people say A at best. That's A at best. I feel like that's too savage. You could just say A without leaving the at best. That's way too savage, dude. Oh god. Especially after the MP buff. But yeah, if you want to place her in A, that's fine. I wouldn't be mad about that. Right. The next welfare. Is this the last one? No. There's one more. Yes, one more. Okay. But this is the third one, I believe. Santa Altera. Single target, quick DPS, and I guess a bit of supportive utility as well. Definitely worth mentioning. Not all, you know, selfish stuff here. Definitely a bit flexibility. Attack, I like it. It's not bad at all. Definitely above average. Double quick, double arch deck. Triple quick would have been better in my opinion. But it's alright. At least her gains are still pretty okay. And actually has a pretty... I mean, I want to say her star gen is good, but it's mostly because of how many stars the MP itself gives. But even so, it's not bad by any means. Even without the stars from the MP, she can still generate a good chunk of stars. So like again, you know, something that Billy would like to do, which she can't really do that well. She can actually generate stars, okay? So not too bad, actually. Speaking of star gen, we have some here. So it's a targeted skill, 20% battery, and a flat 30% star gen for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. It's basic, but it's okay. At least it's flexible with the targeting. A lot of the times you will target herself with it though, because the star gen also works pretty well with her. But yeah, you have the flexibility, I suppose. Because sometimes, let's say, you're about to get MP'd. And you might need to give this to someone else in case you get like a defensive MP going. So, you know, the flexibility is always nice to have. It usually does mean the numbers are slightly lower, but I feel like it's not too bad here. So, yeah. Second skill, another targeted skill. This is where the utility again comes in. So, one ally, MP damage up 1 turn, 30% up 2. Same with crit damage, 30%. 5-turn cooldown. This is a bit weak though, in my opinion. This is a bit, this is not as good as the first skill, definitely. The numbers are pretty low. Crit damage should definitely be at least 50% on a 1 turn if it's a 5-turn cooldown. Same with MP damage maybe, but at least the crit damage should be higher. So this is a bit on the weaker side. Or make it AoE or something. Yeah, not that amazing. No, I'm doing these in a rarity, Gion, so 5 stars haven't been touched yet. The third skill, though, is very cool, actually. So, a 3-turn ignore invul for self. On a 5-turn cooldown. So, yeah. Dodges and invuls beware, I guess. Self star absorb up. The usual. Nice 600% up to like Tomoe has. 3 turns. Not bad. Self defense up 30% 3 turns. Actually, a very nice one. The best ones we've seen so far in the archer list were 20%. So, that's already better. There is a demerit, though. After 3 turns, she will stun herself. But unlike some of these demerits that are on timer, this one is not counted as a buff. So again, this is you have 3 turns. So there's many ways to solve this. You can just immediately just cleanse this. Any debuff cleanse just works. That just cleanses the debuff. Gone. Don't have to worry about it. Also, anti-stun CC is another way. In case you don't want to run like Atlas for cleanse or supports that cleanse. So, if anything, I feel like the demerit is not bad. You have 3 turns to do this. Like, you get to go... What it means, you get to go 3 times. You attack once, you attack twice, you attack 3 times, and at the end of attacking 3 times, you get stunned. That's a lot of time to prepare for this, honestly. You have so much opportunity. I feel like this skill is just really damn good. And the demerit is honestly way not that bad than what it sounds like. It's actually a pretty great skill. Yeah, definitely strong. And especially, again, if you're running anti-stun CC, if you know, like, if no one of your party dies, you will do a full rotation of your deck in 3 turns. So you should be able to find the anti-stun command code. Unless you start with, like, turn 2, and then the shuffle happens, and then you are really unlucky, and it wasn't on 2 or 3 or the new 1 turn. So you can get unlucky, but in most cases you would probably find it before the stun happens. Magic Receipt is nice. Writing EX is super nice. That's why, I would prefer if she had triple arts or triple quick, but yeah, very nice. I guess this is her version of like independent action. Same effect, just a different name. Divinity B, more tickle. Good passives. There you go. MP. No, sadly, much like a lot of welfares, no other normal effects. But you know, free MP5, single target quick. It slaps. And OC actually not bad. It's at 20 star bomb on base. Much better than most of the other star bombs on OC in the game. So yeah. Not bad. Good, very good damage. Anyone who's ever used this knows that this MP slaps. When I always think about Santa Altera, I kind of think about like the you know, archer version of Rider Kentucky, but maybe not as good though. But still, very similar as an archer. Maybe an A, honestly, or B plus. I wonder where I placed her last year. I think I placed her in A. I think she's good. Yeah, maybe because of the free MP5, I can probably put her in A. Because again, she has that good damage, uptime is pretty good, and she has flexibility with her kit as well. So I think A is very fair. Yeah, there you go. Another good welfare. Ooh, this is a good one and a cool one. One of my favorites as well. Fujino, single target buster DPS archer. Very high attack for a 4-star, 10.3k basically. That is nice. Good start. Double buster, double arts I think is perfect because she has a good mix of gains and damage. Love it. Also can do a full buster chain, potentially. Good deck. Gains, on base not the best, but with her first skill actually can be very, very damn good. So yeah, can easily fix that herself. Star gen, not the best, but some potential there, but not as good as like Santa Altera by any means. But yeah, honestly, great numbers, I would say. Yeah, and speaking of the first skill, here we go. This skill is ridiculous. It's so good. It's a 5-turn cooldown with 3 3-turn effects. The first one, a 35% buster. Even that alone, if this was just that, it would still be pretty damn good. Pretty damn solid. But it also comes with ignore defense for 3 turns, which is nice to have as utility. And then the other big one, 30% MP gain for 3 turns. This is a great skill. Just a very great skill. Better than many, many SSR skills. One of the best self-buster buffs in the entire game of any servant. All rarities. Just very solid. Good uptime. Second skill, you know, gotta have ignore evasion if you're an archer, I suppose. She does not have it on her MP, but she does get it for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown here, so, you know, most of the time you'll be ignoring evasion anyway, chances are. And a 15-star bomb, so it's okay. It's good utility. Makes a bit more consistent for damage and gains, but just alright, I would say. Third skill. This is cool. I really like her third skill. So there is a demerit of reducing your max HP by 2k for 3 turns. It can add up over time, but it's also something you can work around with, luckily. So it's not like it's permanent HP reduction like Kama, for instance. So it's not that bad. But then the other stuff is really good. She gets a 3-turn up to 2k damage cut. Now for MPs, this won't save you. But for face cards, you're a juggernaut. You're basically a juggernaut, okay? You're not going to be touched by face cards, unless they're really heavy crits. And then the guts, 1 time, 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown, 1 HP. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Still pretty good uptime, I would say. In a lot of cases, you can probably get 2 guts out of her in one battle, quite easily. Even if it's a 1 HP guts, so... yeah. Her kit, I like it a lot. Not the flashiest there, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, a lot of cases you will get hit by 0 damage with this active on a high rank, so it's kind of nuts. It's very fun for solos as well, where you can do it. Yo, Keo, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Magic Gris D is sadly a bit low, but oh well. This is great though. Goes well with the Star Bomb, 11% crit damage. And Territory Creation is really good because of the double arts on 3 hitters, so yeah. Makes your gains even better. Thanks for gifting Jen to sub, Cyrus. Thank you, man. And then the MP. This was her biggest drawback in my opinion. Not because of the effect, but because of the damage. It used to deal not good damage. It was one of the weakest single target 4-star archer MPs. But they did buff it, luckily, which is nice. So now it's way nicer. Okay, so normal effect, buff block 1 time for 3 turns. That is good. That is good. I like the fact that it's 3 turns. So if in case the enemy doesn't use a buff the turn you MP, it doesn't necessarily matter because it's there for 3 turns. So that can be huge depending on the buff boss wants to get. And remember, buff blocks work in instances, so it might block more than 1 buff. Because let's say you're fighting Summer BB. She uses self-suggestion, which on enemy doesn't get absorbed, but she would get critical damage and critical chance, I believe. That's how it translates. This would block them both, the effects. So that's how the instancing of buff blocking works. It's a 1 instance of buffs, so it's even better like that. They did add her this super large damage modifier, I suppose, which again, pretty good numbers. They're the standard, pretty nice. And then the other OC effect is a attack down for 3 turns. It's literally the same as EMIYA, same scaling, but single target. Not the best, but with all this stuff combined, it's actually great. And even if you're not fighting super large, which you probably won't be fighting most of the time, chances are, now the MP at least still does good damage while still having the nice utility from these debuffs. So, yeah. Oh boy, what a servant, huh? What a servant. And at least she's coming back on Summer 5 rerun and then next year for NA in case you're missing her. Now we need to start doing some comparisons, right? Fuck me, dude. We need to start doing some comparisons. Oh, man. I really do like Fujino, though. Again, this would be among the 4 stars, if anything. God damn, dude. I might agree to the fact that she might be better than Tomoe, yeah. I might not say easily better than Tomoe, gent, but I would probably say better than Tomoe. Yeah. She is damn solid, though. Really, really good. Thanks for gifting a sub to Gla as well, Cyrus. I might just leave it for this. We'll get more later as well, but yeah. God damn, she's great. She's really damn good. Man, keeping up with good stuff, at least for the next 2. Chiron. Oh boy, do I like me some Chiron as well. Oh baby, he's awesome. So, single target arts, DPS / support. Definitely support has to be mentioned here. But he's actually a very capable DPS as well if you want to do that. That's fine. Attack, slightly under average, but not too bad. Double arts, double quick, I think is definitely okay for his kit. Gains are good. They're definitely good. Better than most archers in the 4-star list or and above or below. So yeah, that's nice. Stargen, not terrible either, with the double quick on 3 hitters and the 5 hit extra and the 4 hit busters, so not too bad. Good stuff. Just a slightly lower attack. Mind's Eye True is nice, because, he can fend off for himself, because, he kind of, sometimes, more often than not, he takes a support spot, so the fact that he can actually, kind of save his own ass is kind of nice. But it's even easier if you use him as a DPS and you have others to help as well. So it's your basic survival skill. It's a rank A, so the defense up is actually nicer, but yeah, it's alright. It's always alright. Now here we go with the supporting abilities. So, AoE crit damage up 50%, 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown. That alone is alright. Not bad by any means. It's actually very decent. 15 star bomb. Not bad. And then a very minor demerit. It's like a 1 instance of Black Grail, right? It's 500, right? I should know this. It's 500, right? Yeah, okay. Not a bad number. It's like negligible. It really doesn't matter. So it's good synergy. Decent, very decent as a support skill. And in combination with this, now this is sadly not AoE, but it's a targeted 3-turn rainbow buff of 30% on a 6-turn cooldown. So half the time it's more or less active. Pretty solid, actually. Normally I'm not the biggest fan of rainbows because they tend to be 1-turn stuff, but this is 3 turns, which makes it way better. Way better, because they're all on 30%. Makes him very flexible for a lot of different things. Love it. Great skill. Good kit overall. Very good. Magic Wrist B is very nice. This is very nice, and this is Divinity C, that is. And the MP, honestly, used to be pretty good, but they made it even better. It's so good now. It's so good. Like, not only does it remove defensive buffs before damage, which is something that Diarmuid would like to do, sadly doesn't, he definitely does it. So you cannot really dodge his MP. You can't invul this MP. You can't special invul this MP. It's all gone before damage. They also added an Earth attribute modifier, much like a Reshkigal, which is also not that rare, mind you. Earth is not super rare to fight against. The OC remains the same. It got the standard damage upgrade, so it's great damage now. And it, much like Kuro, it's the same. 20% crit chance down, 3 turns. Just an amazing MP. This is what a really strong MP looks like. Very, very good. My man's is packed with stuff, dude. So flexible. Good DPS, good supporting. At least at A+, but man, I'm really gonna... After the MP... The last time I rated him, he didn't have his MP buff. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he was A+ without that as well. But I don't know. He's really good though. He is really damn good. I'm so tempted to just slide him into EX though. Fuck, dude. I might leave him here for now. We're gonna maybe shuffle some of these 4-star single targets at some point, but yeah, he's really damn solid. I mean, yeah, it's not like I don't want to do it because there would be a lot of EX Jordanian, but you know, I don't know. I'll think about it. It's definitely really good. Alright, keeping up with the theme of pretty good stuff, huh? Okay, we're not slowing with this train down, at least not for now, but Ashvatthaman, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but, you know, commonly referred to as Hot Wheels as well, or just Ash, to make it easy, I suppose. Single target Buster DPS Archer, 10.2k attack, so basically identical to Fujino, just slightly under, but very, very solid attack for a 4-star. Double Buster, double quick. Normally, I would say not the best deck, but, you know, considering what his skills are, it makes the most sense. It really does. So not bad. His gains are also fine, with only 1 arts card. They're still not bad. They're not as good as, let's say, Chiron or Fujinon or Kuro, but they're not bad by any means. So, and of course, you can bring supports if you really want to get your gains up as well. But still good gains, but not the craziest among the 4-star. Stargen, not terrible either, actually, with the double quick, double buster, and extra all having nice numbers. And he also gets buster and quick buffs, so yeah, actually can, you know, get you some stars as well, which he could use himself because he has crit buffs. So, the first skill, self-invul, 1 turn with a battery, 6-turn cooldown. So it's pretty much the standard for a 1-turn invul or evade. Slightly awkward though, because it's a battery, because you kind of want to use battery almost immediately in many cases, but obviously you don't really want to use your invul maybe on turn 1. Slightly awkward, but still, it's an okay, you know, decent survival skill, absolutely, but there is some awkward stuff in there. Second skill, so this is the buster skill, self-buster up 30%, 3 turns, 5 turns, so just weaker than Fujino, but she already has an irregular one anyway, but still, this is still solid. And now, the next 3 buster attacks you do in the 5 turns, the next 5 turns, reduce enemies' defense for 3 turns by up to 20%. I wish it wasn't only for 3 attacks, but still, if you do all that, which you will definitely do in 5 turns, that's a minus 60% defense down, which is actually not bad at all. It's like Hokusai, when you think about it. She obviously doesn't have a limit, so it's not as good, but still, with the 30% buster and the good uptime, it's still a good skill. Definitely a great skill. Same kind of goes here. So it's again very similar case. So it's another 30%. This time for quick, 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown. Same with the 3 attack or 5 turns. Here you get crit damage though, up to 30%. It's not as good in my opinion as the defense down, because this will always do you work unless it's resisted. Whereas you obviously need to crit to make this work. And he doesn't, besides, you know, making a bit of stars himself, he doesn't really bring any stars. But again, supports will and can definitely help with that. So it's still a good skill. Not as good as this one, but it's still also a good skill. Now, if anything, here is some juicy stuff. His passives are insane. Magic Rosé is nice. independent actually EX, and this is one of the best passives in the entire game. Is ridiculous. Buster up, buster crit damage, mental debuff immunity. He cannot be charmed, he cannot be stunned. No skills or confusion skill still, I guess. No hard CC on this boy. Like, even this alone is insane, and then you get the buster stuff on top of that. It is definitely top 3 passives in the entire game. It's ridiculous. This is some heavy lore shit right here. Ridiculous. Divinity A+, I mean, it's a high rank. It won't do too much, but it's nice to have, you know, it's just a bonus. Pretty damn stacked on passives. Oh wait, yeah, he can be stunned. Yeah, never, yeah, this is the Terror one. True. It's, yeah, it's the Terror one, and the, yeah. So, not every stun, but, you know, Terrors at least. Yeah, good correction. The MP, sadly, hasn't been buffed like Fujino and Tomoe, but it's still pretty good. Not as good as Chiron, though, for instance, because this one, again, the defense buff removal is after damage, so it's a bit awkward. He gets the Deermood treatment, right? And the OC is not bad, because he has the good old more damage based on, you know, the more HP you have lost, so some more damage potential there, actually. It's an alright MP, I would say. I think they should buff this probably, because it kind of falls behind, like, Fujino, Tomoe, and Chiron MPs, I feel like. It's kind of weak in comparison, and also Kuro is free MP5, so it's not a bad MP, just kind of weak in comparison. But he has a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of stuff really well. Again, consistent, though. Some people are saying if I plays like some, they have to be the same, but I don't think he's the same level as like Fujino and Fujino and Kuro. Maybe I can place him the same as Tomoe though, because it's debatable though. At most the same as Tomoe, but definitely not above Tomoe. So maybe just here. I feel like he's very interchangeable with Tomoe in most cases though, despite not having like the MP buff or anything, but still. Very similar, very similar. Like, in most cases, you can probably just pick either or, and they're probably going to do similar jobs, so, yeah. So there you go. Hot Wheels, still great. Very great. And maybe they buff his MP at some point, and then he's probably going to be instant EX. But yeah, until that day happens. Right, back to some, we're going to go a tad lower now again, okay? So, Summer Hime. Man, these summer archers though. So I mean, at least the 4 stars, there's not a great repertoire between them, huh? Yeah, so AoE buster, as far as I remember, damage dealer / kind of supporting stuff as well. Yeah, a bit of supporting stuff as well, should mention that. Attack is already on the lower side, but not atrocious by any means. Triple arts deck is interesting, I suppose. Her gains are actually not bad at all because of that. Decent hit counts, decent number on the gain. High extra hits, high quick, yeah. So at least there, she's not bad at all, you know. She's got some stuff going for her. Star Gen, honestly, kind of negligible in most cases, but not as bad as it could be. Right, self-crit up 3 attacks or 3 turns. It's only 50% though, on a 5-turn cooldown. If it's 3 attacks, it's not too much to ask for 100% in my opinion. No, it should be 100 in my opinion. And the evasion is 1 attack, 1 turn. What is that? That is weak sauce. What is that? Oh no. Yeah, I think it's not the worst skill ever, but it's weak. It's definitely weak. This should be 100% crit damage. If it's only 3 attacks. Should be 100%. Now this skill is very interesting. So it's not a self-taunt. Don't let the icon fool you. It taunts an enemy you target. So one enemy you choose will have a taunt for 3 turns. So yeah, you better plan ahead, I suppose, if you're fighting more than 1 enemy. And you're probably going to fight more than 1 enemy if you're going to bring her, because she's AoE, and we already saw so many amazing single target archers, so chances are you're not going to pick her over a single target archer against a single boss. So this can be a big demerit in case your plan ends up failing. Party attack 20%, so, you know, you get a bonus charisma, I suppose. And, you know, some nice utility. Your entire party ignores evasion for 3 turns. All this on a 5-turn cooldown. I don't think the upsides are that much worth it for the potential, how bad the taunt demerit can get. Sometimes it doesn't really matter at all. Sometimes it could be really bad. It depends, so... But I don't. There should be more upsides, I think. Yeah, maybe 30% attack or something. I don't know. It's not terrible, but just a bit weak again. And then the third skill is her selfish skill, her DPS skill. So self 30%, Arts and Buster, 5-turn cooldown. Now at least this one is good. Now this is a good skill. This is good. Good uptime, good number. It's good. Basic but good. So at least she has this. Much better than Summer Helena, at least. Yeah, this skill alone. Magic Res B is nice because, again, oh, I should have said, I probably won't be rating her as a farmer here. She would definitely go against bosses instead of farming because her farming isn't that good. Independent Action A is nice. Divinity C minus bonus. And this is actually cool. I like this. This is a very cool passive. 8% arts and, you know, it's not a whole lot, but 200 damage cuts can sometimes make a difference. It's a nice passive. And then the MP. So it's no other normal effects besides damage. And then after damage, you get an AoE buster buff for your team for 3 turns. And it's 20%, so it's actually pretty bad. Not pretty bad, it's pretty good. At least on an MP bonus effect. And then also crit damage 30% for 3 turns. So, you know what? The party buffs are nice. I just wish the buster buff was before damage, though. Because besides, you know, she has these two, but her MP is still not going to do too much damage in a lot of cases. But at least, you know what she has? She's better than Summer Helena. So there you go. Hime Archer. So how does she fare like in comparison to Nobu? That's a good comparison, right? Because they're basically very similar. Would I put her in the same, higher, or what? Because they're actually pretty similar in a lot of stuff. I'm gonna hydrate it first. I guess Nobu has the advantage of at least being free MP5. I like the skills of Hime more. But I don't know. Maybe she's just like a low B or something. Yeah, I kind of want to put her slightly above Nobu. But not a whole lot. It's a very minimal, you know, bump, if anything. I would not put her above B, though. Definitely not. There you go. Wow, not many 4 stars left. Actually, wait, no, there is actually quite a few. There's not that many SSRs now that I think about it. Whoa, this is a new one that wasn't in the previous list either. Calamity Jane. Single target, quick DPS, and also definitely some supporting in her kit as well. Worth mentioning. Attack, again, slightly below average. Oh well. Double quick, double arts. Triple quick would maybe make more sense, but it's alright, it's alright. Maybe even double buster, double quick would make more sense. But at least her gains are good. They're not bad at all. In fact, they're actually good. I remember that from using her a bit during Saber Wars as well. And her star gen also is pretty decent. So, not too bad, I would say. Already looking alright. First skill, it's the Kotaro skill, I suppose. And to an extent, Robin, who has poison instead of crit chance down. But yeah, flat 10% attack down on all enemies, 3 turns. Not a whole lot. But at least the second effect is actually pretty nice. Up to 19% crit chance down, AoE, 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. So uptime is good, so I like the enemy crippling, I suppose. Wait, why did your sub notification pop in twice, Beal? You hacking the system? Anyway, thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Yeah, not a bad skill, honestly, versus bosses. This is a very nice skill, actually. It's an AoE guaranteed drain, first of all. I love that. Great. Self-attack up 20%, 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. Not the best, but there's a lot of effects here, so... And then, you know, this is I'm not a big fan of. It's an 80% chance for your other allies to get a 20% attack up for 3 turns. And then 10% charge for everyone. So even with this RNG, at least it's if one of these had to have RNG, I would definitely put it here. So it's still a great skill in my opinion. It does a lot of stuff. And I really like the AoE drain, most importantly. Still pretty good. I think 6-turn cooldown is pretty fair here. Now, then her really unique and crazy third skill. So, no matter what, if you use this, one targeted ally gets up to 40% buff success rate. So it's one of these again. It's always tends to scale to 40%. So it's something. But, depending on your stars, you get a lot more stuff. So 10 stars, crit damage, 40%, 3 turns. 20 stars, crit absorb, 1500, 3 turns. That's a lot. That's a lot of absorb. Evasion for 1 turn with 30 stars. 40 stars, ignore invul, 3 turns. Interesting. And 50 stars, 20% battery. It's okay, I feel like. It's not as good as the potential might suggest, in my opinion. But it's not bad, especially because she can actually, with a good turn, she herself can generate a decent chunk of stairs as well. But her star gen is not good enough to make this skill consistently great. So you definitely run something like double 20-30 with her or something to make this skill a lot better. So the potential is really good, and this is a great skill, but you're gonna have to do a bit of extra work to get there. But still, not bad, honestly. Thanks for the 15 months 3D. Welcome back to the Go Gang. Well, overall, I actually really like her kit. Like, it's very solid. You can tell she's not a day one servant by any means. Magic of C could be higher. Writing A is very nice. She has presence concealment as well, which, you know, again, helps with the star gen. This is a very nice passive. Again, not as nice as Hot Wheels necessarily, but also has a very good set of passives. And then the MP. There's another one, take a shot. Ignores evasion 1 turn before damage. And her OC is also very nice. Not because of the numbers, but because they also activate before damage. It's really weird that they're 2 turns though. I never understand these 2-turn things that some MPs have. But yeah, 2 turns of minus defense down and minus quick rest down before damage is actually very nice. Even though it starts on 10%. So I would still say her MP is actually very good. Very, very good. So yeah. Jane is actually pretty solid, in my opinion. I think one of the A's again. So I guess we could compare her to Tristan. What do you guys think? Honestly, she's actually pretty damn good. She has a lot of stuff in her kit that I really like, and her numbers aren't bad either. Worse than Tristan? Yeah, maybe a bit worse after the Harp of Healing buff. Maybe a bit worse. But not bad by any means. And you know what? Maybe this comparison is fair to like Santa Altera, because Santa Altera has the free MP5, but I think Jane just has the better kit, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Jane is pretty solid. Not bad. Right, the final welfare, right? Yes, okay. We got her not too long ago in an A. So, Nightingale Santa. AoE quick, right? Yes, good. Pretty good attack. Not bad. Double quick, double arts. I think I like that. Maybe triple quick. Honestly, no, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Gains are okay as well. Definitely okay. And star gen also not too bad. So, honestly, not bad. Skills. It's an AoE buff strip, but only one buff, and it's always the latest one, because that's how the game is coded. So, if this was like full-on buff strip, oh my gosh, she would jump like a full tier or something. But you know what? It's still nice to have. Definitely still nice to have. I wish you could at least choose the buff you remove, because it's always the latest one, but oh well. Still good utility. And you got the reverse, remove one debuff from your party. And a party heal. Honestly, in a 5-turn cooldown, that's not bad. It's basic, but it's not bad. If this was a 6-turn cooldown, it wouldn't be that good. But on 5-turn cooldown, it's actually alright. Not too bad. Second skill. Targeted Guts. 1 time, 3 turns. 7-turn cooldown though, so it's definitely a bit weaker. Probably because it's targeted. But here's a cool thing. Buff removal resistance for 3 turns. So if you max this, your target, unless it's a guaranteed removal from like a, you know, stupid boss gimmick, they will save their buffs no matter what for 3 turns. That's good utility. It's still pretty rare to this day. Some have it on AoE, which is obviously even better, but even this, because it's 3 turns, is actually it's very nice utility to have. And then also as a bonus, you know, target also gets 30% MP damage for 3 turns. So especially if you're using this on a looper, it's even more value, because they can probably get more MPs than 1 during this duration. Cooldown is high though, but it's still good because of this, I would say. And then the third skill, you know, you can argue if this is a better charisma because the cooldown is 1 higher, but I would say it probably is because of the 30% crit, AoE crit as well. Yeah, still not amazing though. These skills are better in my opinion than this. Kit is actually pretty solid overall. Magic Receipt is nice. Also, here's the thing. I'm probably not going to rate Nightingale Santa as a farmer. I don't think so. She can't even loop, right? Definitely not. So I should definitely rate her against bosses here as like a secondary DPS or a support type. So this is nice, I guess, if you do DPS with her. And, you know, just for the memes, because, you know, she's originally a Berserker. EX Madness enhancement on that 1 Buster card. Oh yeah, good memes. Good memes. And then the MP. There's a lot of stuff here, huh? So, you remove offensive buffs. Here, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, if it's after damage, because, you know, most of these wouldn't really affect survivability anyway. So it's not as big of a deal as removing defensive buffs before or after damage. But this is still a nice effect to have, for sure. And I guess this demerit really doesn't do any... It's not really a demerit, so you remove dots from the enemies. Oh boy. Oh, you're never gonna kill them now. You removed their dots. Oh no. Who's gonna kill them now? Yeah, that's not a demerit at all. It's just a lore thing. It doesn't matter. So yeah, and then AoE defense down. Very weak. 3 turn, 10% after damage. So that's not really too much to say about. But hey, free MP5 is nice. Overall, I think the highlight of her kit is just the sheer amount of utility that she has. She is literally utility the servant. B plus A? What do you guys think? Maybe A. You guys think she's A plus? Really? I don't think she's A plus. But I think A is pretty fair. I like the utility. You can absolutely bring her, like, if you're fighting against like a saber, you can bring her a second, like a full support and like a single target archer DPS. That sounds like a pretty good comp. There you go. Not bad. She's nice. Right, 4 more 4 stars to go. All right. Summer Illya. AoE quick. DPS archer. And again, I think I'm gonna rate her as a DPS here because I don't think she's a great farmer. Correct me if I'm wrong though. I don't actually have her on JP, so I've not really lapped her too much or anything. I kind of mostly use her doing Summer 5 from support or something, but yeah, I don't think she's really a farmer, is she? Yeah. She can loop, yes. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I should have said without plug suit, right? I mean, basically almost every servant in the game can loop if you bring a plug suit in this day and age with, you know, all the options you have. But yeah, I mostly want to focus on looping if it's like non-plug suits. So I'm not really going to give her points for that. But you know what? I'm sure you're going to be looping with her anyway, Jackson. You know what? Ain't that beautiful? So the attack is actually very good. That's a nice thing to see. It's over 10k. Very nice for a 4-star. Quick double arch stick. Honestly, probably fine. She can still do a full quick chain with the MP. Gains also, not bad, I would say. They should be better than caster Illyas though, that's for sure. Which is ironic because casters tend to have the better gains, I suppose. Although maybe not actually. A lot of archers tend to have good gains, now that I think about it. So yeah, maybe it's just, you know, meeting expectations. She can loop with starting gauge, more like area. And 2 Scotty no plug. Wait, starting charge? So like every other quick. Oh, you mean like non-Scotty setups, right? Maybe. Well, whatever. It's okay. I don't think I'm gonna really put high emphasis there, though. Honestly. Not too bad though. Here. Skills. Self quick up 3 turns. Only 20%. Would prefer 30, but it's okay. Quick absorb 1 turn and crit damage 1 turn. At least it's 100% damage. Not a terrible skill, honestly, because at least it has the 3 turn quick buff on a 5 turn cooldown. So it's alright, I would say. I guess with Scotty, you can have some really meaty crit card, or quick card crit potential. That would be interesting to see. Second skill, 1 attack invul for 3 turns. MP generation, 30%, 3 turns. And this also includes herself, I believe. So child, servant, allies, attack up 3 turns, 20%. I'm pretty sure this includes herself. Yeah. 6 turn cooldown. It's okay because of the 6 turn cooldown, I would say. I hate the 1 hit invul though, but at least it's not a 1 hit 1 turn. It's still 3 turns. Yeah. Still okay, honestly. And then 30% self battery, self crit damage, 50% 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown. Honestly, not bad. And then, you know, at least the RNG is on the shittiest effect, which is the heal per turn for 500 for 5 turns. Doesn't really make a difference if you miss that, honestly. So actually, this might be her best skill or something. Or in fact, her entire kit is not bad. It's so much better than Caster Illya's. So much better than Caster Illya's, at least. Quite a bit of an upgrade, if you ask me. Decent kit. I'm surprised. Magic Crusade is nice against bosses. This is nice with the crit potential. And, you know, she gets the bonus Illya passive, I guess, of 3% MP per turn, which, you know, can sometimes make a difference. Another shot. Ignore evasion before damage for 1 turn. And then a rainbow buff before damage, starting at 10%. Not bad, I guess. Pretty average with those numbers, I would say. Average. Makes your Brave chain a bit more flexible, I suppose. Honestly, Illya doesn't seem too bad as like a DPS. She would probably be better if she was single target, honestly, but I mean, that kind of goes without given, at least against bosses, but she doesn't seem bad. I didn't use her too much during Summer 5, so again, this might not even be the most fairest placement ever, but maybe even an A, honestly, or B+. I don't think I can play. I think B+ is definitely in the contention here. Like her kit, there's no niche, which I like. It's consistent, good effects, good uptime. It's not bad at all, honestly. Yeah, I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised about Summer Illya. I think she does a better job than Caster maybe does. Although Caster has the advantage of, you know, being a rare single target caster. There's a lot of AoE archers, at least, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'll place her there. When I start using her more this year on NA, I might even change my opinion later. But we'll see. She seems pretty good, though. Now, here's an interesting one that will definitely have a lot of divided opinions, I suppose. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this, too. Faye Tristan. Oh boy. Single target quick DPS with some team utility as well, I suppose. And some team, you know, demerits, but okay. 9.4k attack, so just hovering above the average. Not great, not terrible. If you only compare the same rarity in Def EX. Oh, you're talking about Tristan here? Okay. Double quick, double arts. I guess fits. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Pretty good. Gains also. Not bad at all. Very nice. Definitely better than Faye Gawaine's. That doesn't take too much because Gorilla deck. Not that they should be compared anyway. Stargen also not terrible. In fact, it's decent. So not too bad. The first skill. So much like Tristan, the OG, she has a very similar first skill. Quick performance, 3 turns, self, 40%. That's definitely on the high side of things. Definitely on the high side of things. 6 turn cooldown, so more or less half the time it's going to be up. Self invul, 1 turn. Party evasion, 1 attack. That also includes her, I believe, so that's kind of interesting. And then a very small demerit of 500 damage to your party, except her, I guess. But even then, it's still a small demerit. Not really a big thing. Good skill. Very good. Slightly awkward because the survivability is here with the big damage buff. But you know what? Not bad. Definitely still a great skill. Now, this is a cool skill. AoE MP seal, AoE skill seal, and a 30% self-battery and a 6-turn cooldown. Solid. Not amazing, but solid. Just solid, you know? I like AoE MP seal. That's a nice effect. Very cool. Guaranteed. No RNG. Well, you know, minus resistances, but, you know, base guaranteed. So, that's cool. And the third skill. So, you basically tickle the enemy for 3k HP and heal yourself for 3k. It's only there for lore, right? This will never make a difference, this damage. So, it's just a tickle. It's like Pokemon. It's an absorb. Right. At least her vampirism is a modern one, so it goes up to 100%. So not only does she have an MP seal, which prevents a tick gain, natural tick gain per turn, she also has a tick down. So that's a great combo, honestly. And then another self battery for 30%. So she already has two 30% batteries, combining 60. No demerits. 6-turn cooldown across the board on all skills. Great kit. Very great kit. What can I say? Minus the slight awkwardness here, it's a very great kit. Magic Wrist EX. Yeah, that's good. Riding A, very, very good here. It's now 50%. Quick when this is up. Kind of nuts. I like the 10% arts as well with her 2 solid arts cards. And then the MP, which sadly I think is the weakest part of her kit. Now this is where Tristan is better. But much like Tristan, also take another shot, ignores evasion before damage, and then just, you know, curses. I do know there is some curse shenanigans that you can do, I know, but it's mostly a meme as far as I know. So I'm not really going to take that into consideration. So the MP itself is actually not that great. It's okay because of the utility of this, but besides that, it's okay. Hit count is also pretty decent. Yeah, honestly, this one is not... the alter ego one could sometimes be useful, because knight classes will always be viable against alter ego, I suppose. So, that's something worth mentioning, I suppose. So yeah, numbers are pretty good. Kit is really good. Passives are great. MP, kind of weak, but not terrible. Some people were screaming EX. I can't put her above Tristan. If anything, they're the same. Or I might even prefer normal Tristan a bit more. But probably the same rank for me. I cannot put her above Tristan, though. I just can't. As good as she is, I can't put her above Tristan. I can maybe make this exception of, like, I think both have their strengths. So I can probably put them in the same rank at least. But there's no way I could put Faye Tristan above the OG Tristan. But yeah, still a very great unit. Don't get me wrong. And again, I will probably... Some people will definitely be mad at me because, you know, I know how popular she is, but... Oh well. There it is. 2 more for the 4 stars. Oh, this is a fun one. Yeah, okay. Okay, so finally we have a... I mean, I guess Illya is already pretty good. And they got better all the time with Hime, Illya. And now we got a really nice one. Summer Anastasia, single target, arts, DPS. Attack just above average, not too bad. Double arts, double quick deck. Pretty solid. I actually kind of like the quick as well because of her kit. Gains, good. Good gains. Not broken, but good. Definitely good. Stargen also not bad because of the kit. So, good stuff. Very good stuff. 4th Ascension, there you go. A bit of fad service. It is very nice, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, skills. This is slightly awkward because it's her 3-turn arts buff on 30%. That's great. But it's a 7-turn cooldown because of the 50% battery. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great skill. But slightly awkward for the uptime for the arts buff. But yeah, still a solid skill. Definitely. Second skill, self-invul 1 turn. Buff removal resistance 1 turn. Great combo, what could I say? So, you know, chances are for that 1 turn, she will not be damaged at all. Cool. 20 star bomb as well. And it's a 5-turn cooldown for a 1-turn invul, which is definitely above the average. This is a really good defensive skill. Really good defensive skill. Like, just a very good one. And then the third skill, which is also very cool. So again, there's a shot as well. Ignore evasion, 3 turns. Arts absorb, 3 turns. crit damage 3 turns, MP damage 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Wow. Now that's cool. That's very good on the uptime. That is crazy good. That's crazy good uptime. Oh my. Her kit is kind of stacked. It's mostly really damn good. Oh my. And I actually really like the fact that it's arts, because, you know, she's clearly meant to spam her MP anyway, so this makes it easier. Oh my. Interesting passives as well. So she has a better version of the independent action with the 10% crit damage, but also star gen. So there you go. And then a unique second passive of debuff res and debuff success rate, and that comes into play with the MP as well, which is nice. So here's the MP. Skill seal, again, not a massive thing. In some cases, maybe arguably a demerit, so that's not a great normal effect to have, but the OC is really nice. Art stress down, 20% base before damage for that 1 turn. It can really make the MP hit a lot harder. Also make your gains a lot better as well with a nice Brave Chain. So that's a really nice OC. And her MP has really good damage potential. She's one of the hardest hitting single target archers in the game. Oh boy. I have to be unbiased here though. Man, she is really solid though, not gonna lie. She's just really down. Like, no less than an A+ at least. That's a given. But probably not EX. I don't know. Probably not. It's a really hard argument to make. Dude, there's so many good single target 4-star archers. This is crazy. Like, you thought there were so many single target 4-star sabers? Look at archers, dude. Look at archers. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, maybe she should be on the same tier as Kuro. That is an argument, I suppose. Because I think her kit is better in every way than Kuro's, besides her having a free MP5. And I think her, in some cases, her MP might be a bit more value with the crit chance down as well. Oh, man. I might just bump her up, honestly. Because she's just super solid. Super solid. Especially in the arts meta. Oh, man. Because she should probably be the same tier as Kuro. So the question is, are they both here? Are they both here? But I'm honestly feeling this a bit more. And, you know, it is what it is. Again, there might be some comments regarding this stuff, but, you know. I kind of think both are just top tier in what they do. And the last one. And the latest archer, by the way, because, again, still no new SSRs. Zenobia. Boobia. AoE Arts DPS. Now, the question is, do I want to rank her as a looper? I could. I definitely could. But I think she also has pretty good potential on DPS as well. So she could probably get points from both, if anything. She actually does both pretty well, I would say. Attack, pretty good. More or less the same as Anastasia just now. So, you know, that's good. Double arts, double quick. I mean, they're definitely not going to give her a triple quick, so this is as good as it gets, I would say. Maybe double buster would have been better than quick, because he has some crit potential. Gains are actually not bad at all. They're actually, again, very... Dude, these archers with their gains, man, what can I say? They're good. Star gain. Also more or less the same as some of the previous ones, so not too bad, I guess. So FA, okay, there you go. You're too honky. I'm going to hydrate meanwhile, not because of the FA, but because my throat is dying. So yeah, not too bad. First skill. So much like Anastasia, she has a 7-turn cooldown on her 3-turn 30% arts buff. Not because of battery, but because she gets 20% MP per turn for 3 turns and 10 stars per turn for 3 turns. Again, much like Anastasia, still a very solid skill. They're very similar as well. So again, another very solid skill. Helps with looping and helps with you know, deeps as well. Just really nice. Guts, 1 time, 3 turns, 6-turn cooldown. I would prefer a 5-turn cooldown, but you know what? At least it has other stuff. 3-turn absorb and a 20 star bomb ain't too shabby. And because it's a guts, like instead of an invul, you can kind of pop this early as well. So it's slightly less awkward with the combination. It's alright. And then another better version of Charisma. 20% attack up, 3 turns, 5 turn cooldown. And then the other effect is actually really solid for bosses. 30% crit resistance for your team for 3 turns. That is solid. That is just like what that is. That's basically 30% crit chance down for the enemy for 3 turns. That cannot be resisted. That's good. Like if you're using her against bosses, that's really good. Very good protection. Magic Resist D could be higher. Independent Action B is alright. Writing B is not too bad with the double, triple hit arts cards. Berserker bonus always nice. And the MP. It's definitely pretty interesting too. Flat 10% attack up for 1 turn before damage. 3 turns of critical damage. I guess that really didn't have to activate before damage, but it does. 50% base, not bad by any means. Actually pretty damn solid. And then, you know, if you happen to fight kings, I guess you get a meaty damage bonus, but, you know, don't count too much on that. Great MP. Great MP. Great servant. I think A+. I'm not sure if I can put her in EX, but very great as well. Good servant. Yeah. I guess I could maybe compare her to EMIYA. What do you guys think? That should be that's like an easy comparison to make here, I suppose. I'm not sure if I can equal it. I don't know. She has a lot of stuff, for sure. And it's good stuff, but I don't know. Wait, you didn't know she's AoE, Jax? Okay, awkward. I mean, because of that, she's a looper as well. Better than EMIYA. Those are some fighting words. You think she's better than EMIYA, huh? Oh. Okay, I would never place her above EMIYA, but I can maybe make a compromise of placing her in the same tier, if anything. But I would not place her above EMIYA. But yeah, maybe I can equal it because of the fact that, again, good looping and great damage for bosses too, honestly. So there you go. Man. Somewhere here, A+ EX, still very solid no matter what. Ooh, it do be that time. Dude, look, there's not that many, huh? The game's been out for 6.5 years. This is all we have for SSR archers, dude. Right. Now here's gonna be another heated topic again. Gilgamesh. People are definitely gonna yell at me here. I remember last year as well. Anyway, starting with the SSRs, the man himself, AoE buster DPS, but honestly, in a lot of cases, he might as well be single target, I suppose. But yeah, I guess the fact that he's AoE, he means he can also do some kind of farming, but not easy farming. Even with the current buster meta, he would still, you know, need a plug suit, pretty sure. Anyway, now I need my new numbers again. So, for an SSR, his attack is high. It is high, it is very nice. 12.2k is solid as hell. Double arts, double buster, I think is perfect for his purpose. His gains are very good, especially with the golden rule active. Very, very sexy. Star generation, you think it would be really good, but it's honestly not that good. It's okay at best. But yeah, definitely the highlight is the damage numbers and the MP gains here. Charisma A+. What could I say? You guys know what I think about Charisma. Weak in this day and age. Not much to say about it. It's okay at best. Golden Rule A. At least, you know, this helps, you know, him loop his MP a bit easier against bosses, but still, definitely could use a buff. This or the Charisma could use a buff for sure. Okay again. Third skill, 30% battery. And a nice amount of absorb for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. So this means he can actually be a pretty consistent crit DPS. Good uptime on this absorb. No crit damage on the kit though, but still, you know, he has very good numbers anyway, and obviously you can provide some with supports as well. But yeah, I agree, this kit has aged really badly. He's like one of those servants again, like Okita for instance, that they're just carried by their numbers for sure. The kit itself is laughably like basic at this point. King of Heroes. Where's my King's Charisma or something like that? This is very nice though, because of the aforementioned crit bonus though, the absorb. Magic Resist. I don't know why he has that low. That must be a lower reason. That's really weird to me. And some tickle bonus. And the MP, basically his bread and butter. This is what still keeps him very relevant, I suppose. So before damage, 30% MP damage for 1 turn. That's cool. But here's the real deal. Basically, this is probably like 95% of servants at least. You will do bonus damage against. And quite a bit of it. So, yeah, it's definitely one of the best damage niches in the entire game. Still to this day. And what kind of makes him feel like a single target DPS sometimes. So there you go. Easily the best part of his kit. By far. Now again, I will not place him in EX. I will not do it. Until I'm still in the buff waiting room. I said the same thing last year. I cannot put him in EX. Not as is. It's the same as Okita. A+. Same as many others will be. I'm sorry. He's amazing. He's very solid. But he's lacking the oomph. The final oomph. Okay? I just want to see him buffed again. I want to see him buffed again, okay? That's what he needs. Then he can probably get back to EX. Just in this day and age, with the other options as well, which we will see many very about here in a second. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Still amazing, though. Right. We got Artemis. Single target arts DPS. Attack is on the lower side. It's a below average for an SSR. Not a lot though. Deck is pretty atrocious. I'm not gonna lie. Probably the weakest part. The gains are dog poop. They're poo-poo. And the deck itself, I don't know. Quick double arts? Sure, I guess. But yeah, the gains are just poo-poo. Star gains is also bad. So yeah, the upstairs is not looking too hot. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty bad for an SSR. I have to say though, I think Artemis gets way too much hate though. She's definitely not as bad as some people make her out to be, but at least here she deserves all the hate she gets. Now we saw another version of this skill already earlier on Paris, and this is the better version. So 50% defense of 1 turn, much like David. So depending on your setup, you can soak an MP with this. And this is not even the only defensive option, so it's a bit more flexible. Attack buff 20% 3 turns, and 50% debuff resistance 3 turns. 5 turn cooldown. Still pretty solid, not gonna lie. Still a pretty solid skill. Not game breaking, but pretty damn solid. I like the effects. Good uptime, good cooldown. Now this one, so... It's like Nobu thing again that I mentioned earlier. It's just male damage for 1 turn. 5 turn cooldown. I mean, sure, you can have that one massive turn. And chances are you might not even get to MP before this comes off cooldown again anyway. But still, it's a weak skill. Weak skill. Like, Euryale has a better version of this as one effect in her MP. As a 3-star. That's wrong. They need to buff this. They need to buff this skill. That's wrong, dude. Oof. And then, again, another defensive/offensive option here with Mind's Eye Falls. So, it's alright. Kit overall, lacking. Not terrible, but lacking. Magic Resist should be higher. This is very good. The MP used to be bad, now it's great, but again, the problem is getting there. It's not very easy to get there. So yeah, this is a great MP. A lot of people forget how good her MP actually is, even if you're not fighting males. So, 20% attack down 3 turns, love it. Guaranteed drain, love it. 20% crit chance down 3 turns, love it. Like an actual amazing single target boss MP. Just really good. Like, this is, again, much like Gilgamesh, although sadly she doesn't have the other good stuff going for her like Gil does. The best part of her kit. It's so good, this MP. Now, this is a buff done correctly. It used to be shit. It used to be chance-based drain. Didn't even have the crit chance down. Now it's really good. I'm surprised they actually did a buff as good as this, because I think this was pretty early on. I expected a shitty buff. I wanna almost place her in B+, but I don't know. Even with the new, like, supports and whatnot, I don't know. I think I could maybe still put her here. Because, again, you can even use her... Like, she's not like Euryale. Like, Euryale has way better male performance than she does. She can still be very fine, even against non-males. But, yeah. I just really love the MP. I love the MP. It's so good. The MP is so good. But I don't know. Maybe it's a B. C+ is too low, though. C+ is way too low for Artemis. Okay. I'll put her there, okay? But C+ would be too low, is all I'm gonna say. She's not that bad. She can still be used. Right. Another cool one. We got Mr. AC Tesla. Okay. This is cool. AoE, Buster, DPS, Farmer, whatever you want to call him. Attack, slightly on the higher side. Not as high as Gil, but still pretty good. Double Arch, Double Buster, makes sense. It's basically the, you know, the stuff you're going to be seeing in most of these archers. Despite the hit counts being pretty low on his cards, his gains are actually still good. Not amazing. Like, they're not Gilgamesh good, but they're good. So don't you know, think that just because he has like a 2-hitter arts, no, they're still good, especially with the first skill active. Is the first skill? I think it's the first skill. Star again though, forget about it. That's not happening. So here it is. It's also been buffed. So he gets a self 50% MP gain for 3 turns, and the rest of his party gets 30%. How nice of him. He wanted to share a little bit. So for bosses, this is good. For farming, it's irrelevant. But for bosses, it's really good. 5-turn cooldown. So it's like it's just a better version of Golden Rule is what it is, right? That's exactly what it is. Still not amazing, but still quite a bit better than a Golden Rule skill. The second skill is really nice, except for the RNG. So on a 5-turn cooldown, you can have 3-turn one-time guts, good uptime, 80% chance to get 30% MP damage for 3 turns, 80% chance to get 30% defense for 3 turns. At least the 20% attack up is guaranteed. But yeah, potentially EX tier skill, but only if you land that shit. If you don't, it's not EX. But yeah, at least it's 80% instead of 60, but I'm still not really sold on it because I don't like RNG skills, especially when the effects, like here, they're actually pretty good if you miss them, so it's gonna suck. Still good though. And then the third skill, a nice 50% battery, 6-turn cooldown, ignores invul for 3 turns, and you know, a cute 10-star bomb, flat, solid battery. What could I say? These are always fine. These Pioneer of the Stars, they are alright. Good stuff. Really good kit overall, I would say. Strong. Makes Gilgamesh's look a lot worse, honestly. Even though Tesla is really old now too. At least he has got 2 buffs on his skills. Magic C could be higher, and this also could be higher, but you know, they're fine to have. MP also been buffed, very good. Not a whole lot of buffs though besides the damage. They just improved the stun chance from 30 to 40%. The merit doesn't really matter, 500 damage is negligible. And honestly, even though it specifically needs the enemies to be servants, it's both earth and sky attributes, which honestly is not the rarest thing ever. So I think his niche is actually pretty good. It's a good niche, I would say. Not a massive fan of the 40% stun, so don't bank on this landing. So, you know, do other defensive maneuvers. What can I say? He's up there too. He's up there too. One thing I should note though, compared to Gilgamesh, he can actually loop farm without a plug suit though. If you are gonna bring a Atlas, because he has a 50% battery. So there is a difference there compared to Gilgamesh. So if you're interested in looping without a plug suit, you know, he's a better option, I suppose. But yeah, his damage is still not the best, I would say. It's good, but yeah, I think even with the added, like the fact that he can do it, I think I should place them in the same tier probably. Yeah, I probably should. Okay. Tesla's still very great. Is Ari still here? Alright. Arjuna. AoE, Buster. And honestly, I'm just gonna say DPS, not a farmer. Definitely not a farmer. DPS. But man, I wish he was single target. Anyway, very high attack. That's great. Love it. Very good. Great start. Triple arts deck on a Buster MP. Now, like, unlike some of the previous ones we saw, his gains are actually sadly not that good with this deck. Again, the silver lining always is that at least he can participate more in arch chains to get a bit more gauge. Stargen also, even with his clairvoyance buff thingy, it's not that good. It's okay at best for an archer. Can you skip this song, Jax? So yeah, besides his attack, not the best stuff ever, but I really like the high attack though. Right, this used to be the shittiest clairvoyance in the game, basically. Like, it was so... I mean, it's not as bad as Arash, because, you know, at least he has a bit better hit counts, but this made no sense. It was here for lore reasons. But hey, they buffed it. But, you know, the star rate is still not going to be that meaningful. But this is interesting. It's a 5-turn debuff immune. So again, I'm not rating him as a farmer, so this will actually make a difference here. On a 6-turn cooldown, so, you know, Mance is pretty clean from debuffs most of the time, I suppose. That's kind of nice. Don't mind that. So now it's a much better skill than what it used to be. This also got buffed and now it's also much better. So it's like Karna, he has the awkward 25% battery, which again, if this was released in this day and age, it would definitely be 30%, but I digress. HP per turn for 5 turns, up to 2k actually. Don't sleep on that. That's good healing. That's actually great healing. Stars per turn for 5 turns. Only 8 though. You can kind of maybe sleep on that. That's not so exciting. And then with the buff now also charges him by 10% every turn for 5 turns. Now the cooldown is still big, but because of these effects being 5-turn uptime, I don't think it's bad. In fact, this is a great skill now. Even with the awkward battery and all, it's a very great skill. It's good. Hard to kill this man, huh? You can't debuff him. He's gonna heal a lot. There you go. And his mana burst. In a lot of cases, is probably better than a regular mana burst because, you know, it's combined is the same number here, but it's still mixed buffs. So, you know, they kind of go together a bit better. So, if I were to put this in a tier list like skills, they would still be probably very close to a mana burst. Isn't very no difference at all. So it's still a weak skill, but, you know, a slight damage up, if anything, compared to a Buster mana burst. Magic Receipt could be higher. This is very nice. This is a tickle. Berserker bonus is always great. And then the MP... early buffs, man. Early buffs. If this was buffed later, they would have done him more justice. So besides the damage up, the only thing they touch is make his insta-kill higher. Why? Why? And the defense down for 3 turns. It's okay at 20% and base, but it's after damage. Like, if anything, the MP is the weakest part of his kit, and it's a one-hitter. It's not even going to give you stars. It's not even EMIYA that's going to give you a ton of stars, dude. Such a weak MP. It should be amazing! Isn't this, like, lore-wise, this should be like a fucking god-tier MP. Like, he needs the Arash treatment. Make his MP somehow god tier. Make him a second buff. I don't care. Fix this. His MP is not good. Besides, you know, a bit of damage after the buff. Otherwise, he's not bad at all. I think he's a full tier down compared to like Gil and Tesla, at least, even as DPS, honestly. Although you know, they're mostly rated as farmers, if anything. But yeah. Is he I don't know. It's hard to say. I just don't like his MP, man. But I do like the buff to the second skill quite a bit as well. Oh, it's so hard. It's one of those two, I think. I think I'm gonna stick with this. I think I'm gonna stick with B+. You can still absolutely use him as a DPS and do good work, but Yeah. I'm gonna stick with this. High base attack is nice, yes. Back to Summer. In fact, we have 2 Summer units to go, including this. So, Archer. Single target arts DPS. Attack, sadly on the lower side, but it's alright. Not too much on the lower side. Double arts, double quick is okay, because, you know, they will not give her a triple quick or triple arts. So, you know, it's good. It's as good as it gets. Definitely go for the gains. Speaking of gains, they're good. Not Gilgamesh good, but they're definitely good. Stargen, it's okay as well. Yeah, honestly, not too bad. It's okay. Yeah, I try my best, Tari. First skill, 30% arts, 3 turns. Party defense, including her, 20% defense, 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. Fair. Solid. I understand why this is not why this is 6 turns instead of 5 turns, because those are 2 pretty okay effects. So, not too bad, honestly. This is the exact same skill that Void Shiki has, if you saw the list last week. It's just under a different name. I believe even every single number is the same. Cooldown, healing, demerit, everything. It's just a different name. It's weird. So, it can be a meaty 5k heal. Drain 10% of your MP gauge and a 4-turn cooldown. It's okay. The demerit isn't that big usually. Sometimes you can't use this when you want to, but a lot of the time you can just pop it if you want to heal. So, considering gains are still very good. If anything, this is easier to use than Void Shiki's, because Archeria definitely has the better MP gains. And if you're fortunate enough to have MP 2 or higher, this demerit most of the time will never even be there, because chances are if you're 100%, you're at least 110%, you know? So, yeah. But that only works for MP 2 and higher, obviously. And then the third skill. So, it's the same skill that Archer Ann had, I guess. Was this a low? I think this is a lower rank, actually. So it's very meh. It's just very meh. Not much to say about it. The highlight is definitely the first skill being pretty good. This is okay at best, and this is pretty meh. It's Magic Rosé is very nice. This is very nice, and it's just great passives. Good numbers and everything. Great passives. And then the MP. I like everything about it except the chance-based drain. Flat 70% no matter what you do. This will never improve. Annoying. Love the refund though. Makes the train even easier to keep up. Damage is not massive though. But it's not bad. Yeah, I mean, she's a good old reliable, huh? If it was guaranteed, I might even give her like a plus in tier. But man, 70% is quite a bit of difference compared to 100%. I think here... I think this is probably where I placed her last year as well. I think another A+ is in order. I don't think I can put her in EX anymore in this day and age, even if maybe she was someday, back when she came out or something, but right now, she's still super solid, even with Castoria stuff, but just a bit basic to my tastes. But I like the loops. They're very solid, consistent, all that jazz. Good stuff. Still works very well. Now here's another fan favorite. Ishtar. AoE Buster. DPS / farmer, much like Tesla. Very, you can absolutely compare her to Tesla very easily. Attack, very similar to Gilgamesh. High attack. Double Buster, double arts, makes a lot of sense. Very good. Good gains overall as well. Very similar to Gilgamesh actually on gains. Maybe slightly higher than Tesla. Good gains no matter what though. Very nice. Stargen, not really gonna happen though. Even with the 7 hit extra, nah, that's not gonna happen. But hey, good stuff, very good stuff besides that. First skill, you know, another better version of Charisma. This one comes with crit damage, including herself, so pretty low number, but you know, it's still a better Charisma, which makes it still okay. Could be better though. There's the 50% battery that she has, and I hate that. Now this is the problem. If you want to use her as a DPS, if you miss the invul when you need it, ooh, at least Tesla has a guaranteed guts. Man, that's That's gonna suck if you miss that invul when you need it, huh? But a lot of the times, you're probably not gonna use it. You might bring like a Merlin for an AoE invul anyway, because you probably want to use this for the battery cooldown. So fair enough. And this one might not be that painful if you miss it, ignore invul. Unless you need it, of course. But this one, you will definitely need more than the invul. For farm, it doesn't matter. But for DPS, which you will be basically given points for as well, because you can definitely DPS. Yeah, I don't like this. I actually prefer Tesla's battery with the other effects. Now, I always thought her third skill was interesting. So after one turn, you get up to 50% attack for that turn. And it's a 3-turn cooldown. So it's actually a really good uptime. Sometimes it's annoying, especially as a DPS if you need it. For farming, it's easy to pop for the MP when you need it. But for DPS, it can be annoying if your card counting fails, or if it's not even possible to do. You might just waste it from a nice Brave Chain or something. So it's annoying, but potentially is good. It's a cute, simple skill that actually isn't bad at all, you know? And yeah, if you actually want to bring like Vich supports, you could actually activate this twice for some real fat damage. Something to mention, I guess. Thanks, chat. You can guarantee nimble with a CC. Well, yeah, I guess there are ways to combat that as well. And you could bring like supports that give you buff success rate up, etc. But yeah. Oh, it's unstackable, right? Okay, right. It says it right there. True. Well, too bad. I guess, yeah, you could use it, but it probably, when you use it a second time, it would probably say no effect, huh? Yeah, true. Yeah, whatever. Magic Res A, very nice. Independent Action A, very nice. And this is mostly very nice because of the added debuff resistance. So she's always going to have a 42.5% innate resistance. Very solid. Don't undermine that for bosses. Ruler bonus sucks. MP is solid. Solid. 20% base buster. 1 turn before damage, and a nice fat 20-star flat bomb on top with the damage upgrade. Solid. Basic, but very, very solid. It's a better MP than Tesla has, in my opinion, because the stun RNG sucks. It's good. But still probably here too. Still probably here too. They're, again, very interchangeable in a lot of these cases. Yeah. Still here, okay. But yeah, some of you guys were saying maybe a high A+, yeah, maybe, but I don't think I can put her in EX though. Yeah, we have a nice A+ gang here. But you know what? If anything, this is a testament of how good the servants the Archer class has, right? Because it's mostly filled with good stuff. Also, Grand Zerk on the background. There you go. How is A+ with the Buster meta? Because she's still not the best at Buster, honestly, farming. You would still need to bring like Atlas as well. She's the same as Tesla in that sense, honestly. So, yeah. It's nice that she has more options, obviously, but, you know, I'm okay. I like this placement. Subarashi. Moriarty. Single target, Buster, DPS. And again, we get the same problem as Arjuna here, where he has the triple art stick with not good gains. In fact, I think he has even worse gains than Arjuna does, despite having higher hit counts. Attack, decent, higher than normal, average on SSRs, not bad. But the gains, they're so bad, Like, you'd think they would be good looking at the numbers, but they're not, they're bad. They're just bad. Holy shit. Like a full arch chain with crits is like 50% without overkillers. It should be way more than that. Man. Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's as bad as Abby, but it's very close. Very close. They are the worst two servants when it comes to these triple arts buster MP gain type servants, so I think they are the two worst defenders. Semiramis might be the best from the top of my head. Also star gain is not good either, really, with the triple arts. Now this skill used to be meh, now it's a little bit better. So you get a nice ignore invul 1 turn, also ignore defense, so you know, pretty clean damage incoming. Also still has the absorb, but now also comes with stars to make your crit turn a bit more enjoyable of an experience. So there you go. That's a great buff. I think now it's a fair 5-turn cooldown. It used to be too brutal for 5 turns. Now it's kind of fair, honestly. It's alright. Now this skill also used to suck, but now it's a little bit less sucky. You still, keep in mind, you still need 10 stars to use this. It will not consume them anymore, but you need 10 stars to use this. But when you use it, you get a nice fat 50% battery, 20% MP damage self 3 turns, and all of your party members except him, because he doesn't need it, gets evil alignment for 3 turns. Now why does that matter? Because of his 3rd skill. Sadly, this should totally work for himself. I don't know why it doesn't. I'm mad it doesn't. But yeah, it's a better charisma basically, especially if you use the 2nd skill first. So all your party members besides him get 40% attack. He only gets 20. Which again, really counterintuitive, because he's supposed to be a selfish DPS. And he really is, besides this part. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It should affect him too, in my opinion, but it doesn't. Still okay, I suppose, especially for earning double DPS. 40% attack up for 3 turns and a 5-turn cooldown. Not too shabby, man. Magic Resist should be higher. This is very nice with the 1st skill. And the MP. Still never been touched. It's like the most basic there is. No other normal effects, but hey, at least the OC is actually very solid. So before damage, 3 turn defense down, 20% base. That's solid. That's like one of the best defense down OCs in the game. So at least that's good. And besides the fact that the MP does nothing else, he's never been buffed, you would not believe it, but his MP is actually one of the highest hitting single target archer MPs in the game, among 5 stars as well. But still, they should buff it, in my opinion. They should still buff it. Damn. Damn. Moriarty, I love you, but... Can I place him in A after the 2 buffs? Nah, I don't know. Oh, maybe after the 2 buffs is not bad, but... yeah, maybe after the 2 buffs. He's barely in A. Barely. Only after 2 buffs and all the options we have for supports and whatnot nowadays. Because honestly, Vich is actually a good candidate for his support. For the crit support as whatnot, but yeah. No way better than Arjuna. I think he might be better than Arjuna, honestly. Because, you know, it helps having a single target MP instead of an AoE for a DPS. So, I don't know. You guys really think Arjuna would be better? Really? 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 I'm surprised, because at least 3 people said that. Okay, okay, here's the thing. I would never place him below Arjuna, but I could maybe place him in the same tier. I would never place him below Arjuna, though. That's for sure. Okay, we can compromise. Same tier. But I would never place Moriarty below Arjuna, at least. No shot. No shot. There you go. I love you, Moriarty. I wish they buff you again. Wow, 4 more to go, dude. Man, there's not a lot of SSRs. Oh, here's a big boy. Damn. Napoleon. AoE Buster Archer. And honestly, I almost want to say DPS here and not even really consider the farm aspect too much. You obviously can make it even with his battery, but you will need like everything. You will need the plug suit and all the whole 9 yards. So I'm probably gonna do an Arjuna here and just, you know, consider him a DPS instead. And right from the get-go, I have to say I think Napoleon is slightly underrated. Only slightly though, not a whole lot. I think most people have a, you know, pretty good grasp of where he should be at, but I think he's slightly underrated. He's not that bad. Attack is pretty high, over 12k. That's nice to see. Double Buster, double Arch deck. Again, I think very much makes the most sense here. His gain, sadly, not as good as like every other Buster, like Tesla, Ishtar, Gil, everyone, well, maybe not Arjuna, but all those ones, they have way better gains than Napoleon does. He definitely, it feels a lot worse hitting his arts and quick cards. So, yeah, gains are like average or so, while the others have definitely way above average for gains. Star Gen, even with his, is it the 2nd skill? It's not good. It's not good. Which makes me annoyed that he even has Star Gen as his kit. So, yeah, not too bad here, I guess, but So here we go. Another, just again, it is a better charisma, but only very slightly. It comes with a bonus 20% attack for himself for 1 turn. Could you not have made it 3 turns? Would 40% attack would have been too much, I guess? Oh well. It's still better, but only ever so slightly than a normal charisma, which is still just okay. I hate this skill. I hate this skill. At least make it Voyager of the Storm or something. The attack buff would have made so much more sense than the Star Gen, even if it's 100% AoE. I don't like this skill. It's bad. It's so weak. It's so weak. It's only 20% for the MP damage as well. 5-turn cooldown. It's weak. This is so weak. Don't like it. Now, the third skill is actually good. Alright. Battery is not as good as some of the other ones. It's 30%. But much like Tesla, he ignores Invul for 3 turns and gets an okay chunk of 10 stars every turn for 3 turns on a 6-turn cooldown. So this is still at least fine. This is definitely a fine skill. Not broken, but fine. These two are pretty lackluster. Magic Receipt, I mean, I would hope that both of these would be higher because they're only C ranked. And the MP used to be like an insanely wet noodle. He did no damage even with his buffs, but now... Oh baby, now it's a lot better. We got the Ishtar treatment as well. We got the 20-star bomb on normal. Also ignores defense before damage. So combine that with the third skill, he will ignore defense and invul for most of his MPs, which is very nice. Very easy to, you know, clean damage. And then his niche, honestly, is one of the best, I would say. Divine is, from the common traits, it's one of the most seen ones, right? So it's actually not a bad niche at all, I would say. So now his MP is actually great. I think his MP, again, much like Gilgamesh, is the best part of his kit. So, well, you want to see the mats? Yeah. Yeah, you like the chains? You like the bullets that it proves? Oh, yeah. That's a fun time to max. So yeah, I think he might have like a slightly higher MP damage potential than like Ishtar, for instance, but... I'm not sure if I would still prefer him over them or anything. I'm looking at B plus or A for DPS purposes, not farming. Maybe here after the MP buff, but he's definitely not on the same tier as these people here. And I think Will said earlier that his battery should have been 50%. Honestly, I agree. I'm not sure why it was 30%. And you know what? Yeah, because I might agree that he's better than Arjuna. So, you know what? I think this is a pretty good spot for him. Okay. Yeah, honestly, this is fine. He's still fine, but if you have, like, these options, you might not have that much use for him, honestly. But yeah, Napoleon is fine. Definitely needs a 1 or 2 more buffs still to truly be, like, amazing. Ooh, baby, more AoE, but now we're finally getting rid of the AoE busters. Okay, we're done with that shit. Jarcher, Jod Archer, Summer. Okay, this is cool. AoE arts, extraordinaire. Attack, definitely on the low end. That's one of the biggest downfalls she has, if anything, and that's kind of nitpicking. Good old John treatment, because the ruler had to have a big split as well. She has to have one too. So a bit suffering on the attack side, but not too bad, I guess. Double Arts, Double Buster is completely fine as a deck. Gains are definitely alright. Not guild levels, again, I have to emphasize, but, you know, still pretty good. Stargen, no Stargen. No. Skills. So, unlike Arturia, at least hers is a 5-turn cooldown for the 30% arts up for 3 turns. And honestly, I like the flexibility of the defensive option, even if it's awkward to have them on the same tier here. It's flexible because of its being 2 hits for 3 turns, so not too bad. A pretty solid skill for, you know... I mean, obviously, for farming, you only care about the arts, but for this, you can absolutely run her against bosses, but, you know, you might have better options. 40% battery, awkward, but you know what? There are ways to play around this, like, you know, whatchamacallit... append, for instance, but it's still a bit awkward because you have to go for the little bit of the extra mile to actually, you know. But in some looping, you know, 40% is more than enough anyway, if you want to use that after MPing anyway. In case you don't need the 20% MP damage, because let's be real, it's not the biggest buff ever, but it's nice to have. And if you happen to be on water side, you get a nice 50% crit damage for 3 turns, not too bad. A decent skill for sure. Yeah, for sure. Not bad. And then again, honestly, this is one of the better alternative charismas. So all allies with good alignment get Another bonus 20. Sadly, doesn't apply for her because summer servants are always like lawful or like something summer, so she does not get the bonus 20%. But honestly, a pretty damn solid kit for both farm and DPS. Magic Risby is alright. This is cool. It's just a slightly better version of independent action if you happen to be on Waterfield to get a bit, you know, like an Avenger passive, Illya passive, whatever you want to call it. Meme alignments for the winner, am I right? Yes. Berserker bonus, very nice too. And the MP, honestly, I love the OC kinda, but besides that, there's nothing else. There's literally nothing else. Just damage, and then I like the fact that it's not just a 10 bomb, it stars per turn for 3 turns, so it's actually a pretty good OC, all things considered, but there's nothing else. There's just nothing else whatsoever, okay? So, yeah. Zenobia definitely has the better MP, even though I don't want to compare a 5-star to a 4-star, but Zenobia has a better MP. It's a tough one. She's a pretty good looper, which I'm probably going to mostly place her here. But obviously, she has DPS potential too. I think A+, though. I don't think I can place her in EX, though. Yeah. I think A+ is fair, though. Her loops are pretty good. They are pretty good. Very solid. Ooh. Oh, it's actually going to be interesting. Well, I was about to say, there's not a single SS Archer here, but I forgot. Okay. Yeah, it's ya boy. It's ya boy. I'm sad we don't have the new Orion Giga Chat emote ready yet for chat, but, you know, you guys can spam the default GIF. That's fine. Yeah, there he is. Super Orion. I'm gonna call him a single target buster DPS, despite his MP not doing damage and being arts, but yeah, obviously he's a buster DPS. Yeah, that is a very high attack from the get-go. Higher than Gilgamesh. That's cool. That's kind of redonkulous. Full gorilla deck is perfectly fine with his playstyle. His gains for a gorilla deck, honestly, not terrible. I mean, they're not amazing, obviously, because you only have 2 cards that actually do any sort of gains, but for a gorilla deck, if you get like a nice buster quick arts overkill, you can actually get some gains, so don't undermine that too much. But obviously you have supports helping as well, so don't worry about it too much. Star gain kind of sucks. First skill, it's just a slightly better version of Mana Burst, I guess. You know, if you happen to fight Beast, not the class, but Beast enemies and or demonic enemies, so... This is easily the weakest part of his kit, though. Not much to say about it. But, you know, it kind of works with this kit anyway. Second skill, oh baby. Okay, so it's a 1-time guts, 3 turns, and a 6-turn cooldown. Not the best, but it's solid. 20% attack up for 3 turns and a nice fat 20 bomb to enable himself a bit easier. Because he might not even honestly need that many stars from support sometimes. Good skill. And then the third skill. Oof, this is where the damage comes from. I mean, sure, the MP helps and some of the other skills as well, but this is where it's at. So, Star Absorb for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown makes his crits very consistent. And then, the amazing effect. So, whenever you attack, right? On any card, it doesn't even have to be a buster attack. It's gonna give you... Oh, it actually does have to be a buster card. But yeah, before damage, you get 100% crit damage. If you... Like, if you do a full Buster Brave Chain with him with this proccing on every fucking thing, the last card has 300% crit damage. Just think about that for a second. The last Buster would have 300% crit damage. That's more than most people do on single target MPs. On that one card, let alone the whole full Brave Chain. It's fucking redonkulous. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Independent action EX because he needs more crit damage, obviously. Blessing of Sea God, actually nice because it's a better divinity. So again, not much to say about the flat damage, but you know what? This can sometimes help a bit. And you know what? Oh, this demerit. Oh no, he's gonna die for poison. He takes 20% more poison damage. Oh no, he's useless. Honestly, even this might help, because you could probably use him against archers sometimes too, so it might not be a useless append even. And then the MP. Yeah, this is some first Emperor levels of shit. Ignores Invul, 3 turns. Self-attack up. Ranges from 30 to 50% depending on your MP level. Even base is good. Debuff Immune, 3 turns. 10 stars every turn for 3 turns. And because you need more crit damage, 100% crit damage. Base OC for 3 turns. What the fuck? This is a stupid MP, dude. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. I mean, what? There's not much for me to say, let's be real. There is not much for me to say. Anything under EX would be a crime. So there you go. There he is. And I guess, yeah, the latest servant on NA and also the latest SSR Archer in 2 years of added into the game. Here we go. Oh boy. Sei Shounagon. AoE Quick Archer. Now, I forgot. Does she even loop? She doesn't loop, right? But honestly, I think I would prefer to place her as a DPS anyway. I think her kit is actually pretty good for a DPS. Especially when she hits her niches. She can loop. Yeah, but okay, what kind of looping are we talking? Yeah, you can force it. That doesn't sound too good. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. Like, not a great loop or anything like that. So I'm not really going to put too much emphasis on that, if anything. So yeah, you can force it, so yeah, okay. Attack is very high though. Lovely. It's very close to Gilgamesh. That's cool. Double arch, double quick. Honestly, I think is very fine as a deck for her. Gains, not bad at all, actually. Matches kind of like the rest of the AoE, or most of the AoE SSR archers, I would say. So yeah, on top of the skills she has, she actually has good, very good gains overall. Stargen, not too bad, especially with a nice MP turn, so yeah, honestly, this stuff is at least pretty good. Then the skills, she has good skills, not gonna lie. So this is just a much better version of Charisma, despite it being even 1 turn higher in cooldown. So, you know, the 20% AoE attack up for 3 turns, and then flat 10% MP gauge for your entire team. Every turn for 3 turns, so that's a plus. It's like Abigail. Very nice to have. And also your party heals for 1k every turn for 3 turns. It's just, again, very nice. Actually pretty meaningful healing, I would say. Great skill. A very great skill. Merlin MP on his skill. Yeah, kinda, yeah, actually. If this was stars instead of attack, yeah. I love this skill. This is great. 3 hit evasion. 3 turns. That's really good. And then crit damage, sadly, but it should be high. It should be at least 50% if it's only 3 attacks. Come on, game. But at least I really like the flexibility of the evade. 6 turn cooldown is very fair here. Great defensive skill. This should be 50% though. It's too little. And then this is also a good skill. Self 30% quick up 3 turns on a 6 turn cooldown, 20% battery and a 10 bomb for stars. Not amazing, but again, just good. Good skill. Overall her kit is actually very solid. Among archers, she might just have the best kit overall, honestly. Like SSR archers. On average. Her skills are solid. Maybe rivals a bit with Tesla. Depending on your RNG, I guess. I wish this was higher. I guess this is nice. You know, having a bit more stars landing on your quick cards all the time. Same with the crit damage. And yeah, I guess she won't be charmed very easily. Now, this is not like some, like Kama has charm immune, right? This is the same as King Hassan, where it's charm resistance by 100%. So if your resistance gets like bumped down, you could, in theory, still get charmed. But let's be real, you're never gonna get charmed with this anyway, so it might as well be immune, but it's not. But, you know, very close to it. You know, again, the alter ego passive might not be that bad, because you can absolutely bring any knight servant against alter egos if you want. That's fine. Even though pretender kind of exists now, but still. Not like there's a lot of options for that shit. And then the MP. Yeah, it's literally just niches is what it is. So, against neutral, 50% damage for 1 turn. Against shadow servants, okay, we can just scrap this. This is just pointless. Shadow servants, yeah, I can't remember a single battle that, you know, was meaningful with shadow servants, so. But, you know, it's there, 50% as well. And then, man attributes. Again, not that rare, honestly. There's a lot of servants and enemies with man attributes, so. Not too bad for the niches. But if you don't hit any of the niches, it's not the most damaging MP out there, I'm not gonna lie, even with your buffs active. But yeah, you can probably hit one of those fairly consistently at least, so there you go. She's not bad at all, honestly. So again, where would I like compare to like Napoleon, Arjuna? I almost want to place her above here, because I think I would prefer her over Napoleon. But what do you guys think? Is she, or even if she might be better, is she, you know, that much better that I'll place her in like A+? Because I think I almost want to place her in A+ as a DPS, not as a farmer, but as a DPS. Because I really like her kit. Her numbers are also really good. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I would place her above Napoleon. So yeah, Arjuna, Napoleon, Sei is how I would kind of rank this, I think. Yeah. So, any changes? Any changes? Especially among the 4 stars? We could maybe discuss this a little bit. Because that was basically the final placement. But yeah, even if we shift some, you can kind of see that Archer is a good class, huh? It's a very good class. I might have to split extra into 2 lists, Inferno. I'm still thinking about it. It's going to be so long. Pirates EX? Yeah, I don't know about that. Any serious opinions? You would put Billy on the same tier as Paris? I mean, there's not a big difference, honestly. I feel like this is fine in comparison for them. Chiron EXE is that good? I was thinking about that, yeah. Arash EX. I am tempted, I'm not gonna lie. I am tempted to put Arash in EX. Fuck. Because he's like... Damn. Yeah, Lancer tier list is next week, yeah. That's the next one. Well, hopefully next week. I'm gonna try and do these every week, but yeah, it's the next one, no matter what, though. Do I actually put Arash in EX? I could honestly do it. Even though, like, let's say Gong is better. But, you know, he's still very usable and, you know, kind of nuts still with farming. Alright. I don't think anyone can be too mad about this anyway, so there you go. I'll make a compromise. I think that's fair. So easy to use, makes farming so much easier as well. No plugs, and he literally tears your plug suit. He just takes it and tears it. And again, you can run him in neutrals as well, and in some cases even against like Lancers. So flexible. Doesn't have to be against Sabers, because his MP hits so fucking hard, dude. And again, remember, he's only used on wave 1 pretty much anyway, and wave 1 tends to be the lowest HP. So there you go. Anything else? David EX, anyone? I love David, but I think A+ is very generous and fair. Billy A. I can't place Billy in the same tier as some of the other 3-star, like Euryale and Robin. I can't. Yeah, Chiron is another topic. I almost want to put Chiron in AX after the MP buff. His MP is so fucking good now, and his kit is also very good. God, maybe I should place Chiron in EX. He's just so good. His MP is so nuts. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jord, but still, I think I'm okay with that, with the farm stuff. Would people be mad if I place Chiron in EX? I think he should, mostly after the MP buff, basically. That's what I'm thinking of right now. Okay, again, there you go. A small, and you know what? Now it maybe looks better as well. I don't know. Not that was the reason, but yeah, I just think he's amazing. Like, just such a solid kid, and the MP is super amazing. And his numbers are good too. Like, so flexible as a pick. Yeah. What about the 4-star DPSs like Kuro, Fujino, Anastasia, Tomoe? I think I kind of like this, honestly. I kind of like this placement, honestly. But yeah, obviously, okay, if in case someone, again, this is where probably the placement ends, but again, for a lot of these that are in EX and A+, if you're watching this on a video, and for those watching the stream right now, I can understand if you want to shuffle these around a bit, like move some down, move some up. I can completely understand. So just take that as you will, I suppose. So yeah, if you want to move someone down here, if you want to move someone up, ain't no problem. But this is, I think, how I will leave it at. Let's get a nice zoom out on the final picture there. Yeah, how about that? Archer is a pretty good class, huh? One could say. Yeah, especially among some of the farmers with the bigger batteries, like Tesla, Ishtar, and maybe even Jarcher. I could maybe even see being an EX. Especially now Buster farming is a bit easier, but yeah, I think I'm still happy with this, honestly. There you go. Wow. That was another very similar length in a video, huh? Yeah, well, this had like one more servant than Saber did, I think, so it makes sense. Again, if you're one of those absolute crazy people that actually watched this entire thing as a video, leave a comment, let me know. I would love to hear that. Also, shout out to everyone on stream, especially that watched. I know there was a lot of people here for the entire stream as well, so shout out to all you guys as well, definitely. And yeah, please try to be civil in comments if you can. I beg you. Constructive criticism is always welcome, and next list will be a Lancer, hopefully next week, but it's gonna be the next one. So, and as always, if you like this, definitely just, you know, hopefully the least you can do is at least press the like button for me. You know, I destroy my throat for 4 hours or so, and again, remember, this is just my opinion. So, and obviously subscribe for more. Don't miss out on the future tier lists. Stay up to date. I upload a lot of videos anyway, which I hope are interesting. So, there you go. I'm gonna rest my voice now, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.